Oh, Primal Scream. You listen to Russell Brand on Six Music. I'm here with Matt Morgan. He's in charge of the buttons, even though now he's looking at them all baffled like a drunk ship's captain on that Exxon Valdez. Oh, no.
I'm not drunk in the slightest.
I'm not saying you're drunk. It was a simile, like a drunken sea
There's a
captain.
small problem over here with the Max.
Well, I'm glad you've resolved it. Also here is Trevor Cocky Locky. Are you alright, Trev?
Yes, I'm very well.
What are you so well about, Trev?
Well, you know, I'm feeling happier than I have done for about a week.
Why?
Why?
Wonder why you're feeling so happy.
I think it's a change in the weather.
And?
I found the Italian
Cocky
girls.
You found the Italian girls?
Yeah, they've
oh,
turned
that's
up.
good. Where were they?
Well, they were there all along. I
in
wasn't just-
bags or somewhere in the Thames estuary, all lopped up and chopped up.
No, they've been out with boys, you know. I think
It does happen.
it does
Will happen.
Yeah.
Any other reasons you're cheerful, Trevor Cocky-Locky?
Let's think.
Betraying your friends?
Oh yeah, I got a new computer.
Betraying your friends. Trevor's been romping around London, putting
our
me in
women.
Matt's birds.
I don't know what sort of epoch you live in where a man can't be friends with a woman.
That epoch. The epoch where a man can't be friends with a woman.
Also,
That's the epoch.
You've got a dirty
French
mind.
kissing.
French kissing is not
In
an
the-
act of friendship.
In the
Trev.
USA?
The French are people that abhor friendship. That's why fraternity was eventually removed
One on the cheek,
from that
one on the other
revolution
cheek.
thing.
That's how the French do it. The Italians tend to go
Trevor,
just
you've been
one on one.
stealing
our women.
A so-called
Just calm-
decent human being
just calm
snogging
down.
his way around London. It's like some sort of tribal king, some Zulu chief. Ain't ya?
No,
Trevor, are you ashamed?
I'm not ashamed. I've nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, well, we'll
I
discuss
behave
this
like
over
a
the course of the show.
gentleman. You know.
Yeah, if that gentleman is
mop up
Raffles the
floor
gentleman
after you
cat
guys
burglar,
have-
mop up the floor, make it sound like you're cleaning the bowl.
There are broken-hearted women all over the nightclubs of London after you guys have been out.
Oh, come along.
I just
Right,
didn't-
okay, it'll be a nice show today, right? We've got Trev's challenge. Perhaps Trev's challenge this week will be observing a code of honour among friends. We've got Matt's cultural review. Matt reviewed something cultural. We won't want to spoil the surprise by telling you what it is. He thinks that it's like some sort of whodunit, don't you?
No, classical music.
Ooh, it's really classical, this music will stand the test of time. Trev's got a Sonic Enigma, naturally. What else? Oh, we're talking about homes and stuff like that, aren't we? Like places we've lived in the
Former
past.
residences.
Former residencies. For example. Matthew, what's the matter?
This sounds all bassy. My
Stop
voice
worrying
sounds
about it. Just get on with the
I
bloody
like
show.
bassy.
Things sound a bit
Sounds all
bassy.
right.
Who cares?
Barry White.
Stop worrying about it. Nice to sound like Barry White. Nice to drag his jangling bones. Funny to think that there's a normal-sized skeleton dropped in him.
There's not.
What? Do
Yeah.
people's skeletons grow?
Absolutely.
Barry White's dead.
Oh, you
Barry
fool.
White had a great big giant
Of course he
skeleton.
did. He was big boned. That was the whole problem with him.
Oh, that poor
He
man.
was. Michael Jackson.
I
wanted to
laughed
buy
at him. What? Michael Jackson wanted to buy his skeleton?
Yeah.
Nice.
Mainly for the marrow.
Yeah, nice, delicious. I don't know why dogs are always on about marrow bone like they always were.
Have you not had marrow?
I'm a vegetarian. They're always on about it. They always got delicious marrow bone in it.
Dogs are always
They're
on about it.
always on about it.
Russell,
Delicious marrow
This is the
bone.
latest thing. He thinks he can communicate with the canine
I
community.
can communicate with the canine community.
In what way?
He kicks
Just go, you're
when he
right.
sees him on the
Give them a
street.
little nudge, put a little jacket on them, see how they are. So I'll tell you, right, if we're talking about homes and stuff like that, I'll tell you, Omar used to bloody well live in. Home for recovering drug addicts. Awful it was. Oh, no, treatment centre. I'll tell you about that later. Lots of things happen there. But when I was like, I think I was 20 or 19 or something. I lived
Is this
with...
the living above a pub story?
No, I won't tell you that yet. That's a
right.
bloody good
That's a
story.
good story. I've
Oh,
heard that
those
story.
living above pub stories. I used to live with Simone Nylander, and if you
did
don't
you?
know who she is, she's the girl that goes, Roland, at a Grange Hill. Remember her? Roland, do that thing,
Why
Roland.
did you live with her?
She's going out of her.
You were going out with her?
Used to go out with
She
her.
must have been an older woman.
She grew up really dead beautiful, old Roland girl.
Uh-huh.
Really beautiful.
How
And,
many years older than you was she?
Probably 2 years older. Really very attractive. She was, I think she said that her family were princes and kings or something from like Ghana.
That was a line, wasn't it?
No, but
You fell for that.
I
Probably
did.
was true.
She, I think they seem to have loads of money from somewhere, right? And then I went round her house and but in them days, remember, I weren't as cultured as I am now. I goes, "Come move in here. I've got nowhere else to live." She went, "Yeah, right." So I went and lived there, and I remember one time, what was I doing? I did something that displeased her. I think I was like cutting my toenails or picking my nose or some such natural ablution a man is likely to
dinner
carry
table.
out. I was, it weren't no food was being prepared in the area. She made me move out, properly put all my clothes in bin bags
For that?
and threw them out the window. You know, like that, like in a sitcom, if someone gets thrown out. That happened. I was like, I stood outside watching bin bags full of clothes sailing out of a window, thinking this is like an episode of Brushstrokes. It's ridiculous. Okay, right, so yeah, if you want to tell us some story about your life, why don't you text us on 64046, that's the text number,
perfect,
ain't
well
it?
done.
Or you can email us, I'm not going to even attempt to say that email address, but we've got a lot of dots in it and my name and the word BBC somewhere along the line. It's up to you, really, just join in. Later on, we're going to have Trevor's Sonic Enigma, Trevor's Sonic Enigma. Well, it's enigmatic, isn't it, your sonar experiment?
Literally, yeah.
It's literally enigmatic. What an odd thing to literally be. Can we ever literally be enigmatic? Also, I don't know, let's try and, let's us lot really get together and bond after Trevor's driven a wedge between us.
I ain't driven no wedge
With
between
his
anyone.
vile
That's the whole,
phallus.
you've got
Chasing his dinkle round London.
a load of nonsense.
There's
Like
lots
a
of
Randy St Bernard.
there's lots of women in the city.
Unbelievable.
So why do you have
Different
to
ones.
go for?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Where'd you get this from?
Yeah.
I live a lonely,
Do one of them
frugal,
bams on him.
aesthetic life.
Bam him!
No, hang on. I want to hear what he's saying. A lonely aesthetic life.
No,
What's
I'm
aesthetic about your life? Look at
No,
the shirt you're
it's
wearing.
Asthmatic.
It's
That
asthmatic.
shirt you're wearing, if I saw that lying in a dog's bed, I'd have the dog put to sleep. Right, this is an email here from Brandy. Brandy goes, Russell, Matt and Trevor. When I was a kid, my family moved down south in the US, where it's hot most of the time. The bugs down there were huge. The mosquitoes were so big, I thought they were flying daddy long legs. How horrifying as a kid to think you've just moved to a place where they have flying spiders. I didn't want to go outside. I love your radio show. Tour America, please. That's from Brandy. Brandy, we will tour America. But first, to conquer the United Kingdom. Hello, says Ruth. Oh no. Hello, says Ruth. My mate Barry. I can't, who knows what Ruth's like?
It's probably not like that, I imagine.
I think I've captured the essence of Ruth, and let's think of this as a German expressionistic email that I'm reading out. As long as you get the idea of Ruth, you're all right.
When I used to do that, I used to get ribbed for it.
did, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, did you get ribbed?
I got
Did you
ribbed. I got ribbed for it.
I got ribbed. Someone ribbed me. I was standing outside in the garden. Someone touched me on the rib. My mate Barry, what, Trev? What is it now?
I did
Has it been 10 minutes since you've had it off with one of our girlfriends? You're getting bored? My mate Barry, says Ruth, lived in Ockenden near the wreck at the same time as Russell claims to have been a postman. Why would I claim to have been a postman? Same time Russell claims to have been a
Well,
postman.
you weren't a very good postman. Maybe it means that.
Oh, right, so it's like
Yeah.
really regard the ethos of the postal worker.
Postman stroke thief.
Yeah, I was a gentleman postman. My ideology was out. So I was a maverick, but by God, I got the job done. By the end of the
You
morning,
didn't get the job
that
done. and
sack
that's
was
the-
empty.
It was empty.
People hadn't really got many letters. There's a lot of disappointment being
I think
distributed
the
around
main
Ockenden.
purpose of that job is to empty a sack. They should just be called
Oh,
sack
please.
emptiers, really.
Sack emptiers. Just tip it in a ditch. Right, these sacks need emptying, boys. Tip it in a ditch. So anyway, my mate Barry lived in Ockenden near the wreck, same time Russell claimed to have been a postman in the area. In fact, it would have been the exact same time that Barry's Morrissey tickets didn't turn up in the post. So as well as being a scab, you robbed Barry of his happiness. Shame on you.
Did you?
Ruth. I didn't nickname Morrissey
That would
tickets.
be an amazing coincidence if that really was.
It would be great, wouldn't it? But actually, I didn't nickname Morrissey tickets.
You don't know that. I bet you just threw them in the bin. You probably just felt them up. And
Did you
thought,
always
this,
like Morrissey?
Yeah.
I did like Morrissey. I would have, had I come across Morrissey tickets, I would have stolen. If I'd have known Barry's Morrissey tickets were in that sack, I'd have had them.
Did you
Without a
open every
moment's
single
embarrassment.
letter? I bet you didn't.
No,
I bet you
you
felt
didn't.
them up and just put the boring ones in
I
the
used to
bin.
sit on a park bench, just like opening letters, eating my sandwiches, wearing brogues that were too tight, skidding about in the ice. It was a
Brogues?
ridiculous time. Well, I didn't have many shoes. I just thought I'd wear these brogues.
But why were they
nice.
too tight?
Because they were bound up, like them Japanese women, how they swaddle their feet in the
Oh,
olden
I
days.
see. Yeah, that was
I
the
just
look back
into
then, was it? Yeah.
I was into that. I just thought I'm going to inhibit the growth of these little buggers, one way or another. This is one battle I'm not prepared to lose. So, traveller, have you lived in some interesting places?
Oh, I have.
Trevor, only I may sing.
Okay.
Where have you lived, darling?
I lived in Floor.
You lived in the floor?
No, in floor.
Come on, Trev, be honest. You lived in a cellar because it suited your lifestyle of daytime self-abuse.
I used to be a little mouse. I lived in a hole behind the skirting board.
Behind the skirting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on then.
Trev.
Tell us about this place, Floor, you lived in.
Well, I lived in Floor, yeah, which is a village.
Yeah,
and
lived in Floor, yeah, guy.
Yeah.
You're hearing me, guy? Yeah, I lived in Floor.
I lived there. And one of my earliest memories is of when the plumber fell through the ceiling.
Why do things always fall through the ceiling in your life, Trevor, when it's not this boot plunging
It's a
through a
cartoon.
skylight? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think I'm chicken licking.
I'll tell you what, Trevor, if it were chicken you'd been licking, there wouldn't be such antipathy in this studio. So go on, what, go on. Don't lick your fingers,
that's an
finger licking
insult.
good. He just made the KFC, other chickens are available, finger licking good sign just then. You
Well,
dirty little devil. I don't
dirty
think
little
his special secret recipe is what you've been sapping on, you filthy little article.
Well, you silly boy, you're spoiling the tone of your show.
How am I? You're spoiling the tone of our lives, rampaging around like Warren Beatty. Come on then, Trev, tell us this thing.
You lived in a floor.
You
I lived in a
floor.
village. I lived in a bungalow, which is, and one day the plumber came round. He had to go up into the roof.
Of course he did. Where
And-
else are you going to put the plumber?
And
Don't have him mucking around
he
in
was
the bathroom,
doing stuff in
wasting
there.
his life.
I was only little. I was about 3, and then all of a sudden there was a commotion,
Uh-oh.
and then these legs came through the ceiling.
Trevor, I don't believe you.
He
I
wasn't-
don't
he
believe that
wasn't
all
wearing
these
boots.
stories have got legs coming through the ceiling.
He was wearing shoes, and he just came
He
through.
was wearing shoes. Oh, that corroborates it. Oh, shoes, you say. No one could possibly have sufficient imagination to imagine that on the end of a plumber's leg there would be a shoe. It simply must be truth. It
And
simply must be gospel.
I remember he came through, and Sammy the cat was having some
Sammy
food.
the cat, did he have a voice? Because Trevor, of course, used to give all of his childhood
No,
pets
his whole
voices,
family
didn't he?
did.
Whole family, they all conspired to give them voices. How did Sammy the cat talk?
To be honest, it wasn't until 1985 and the arrival of Bessie that we started giving pets.
Bessie was the inaugural dog voice pet, was
yeah,
she?
yeah, because Sammy was a cat. We didn't give cats voices.
How do you think she would have spoke though, Trevor, if she did have a voice?
She probably would have spoken like this
Why?
because she
Has she
was
been abused?
Trevor, no one goes, it wasn't until 1985 when Bessie arrived.
I just
Who
went like that.
remembers
I
the
went like
year
that.
Speaks like that about
family
their
pets
pets.
arrived?
I do.
And how did Bessie arrive?
Well, she arrived in a.
Bessie's debut album was a great breakthrough. We were all disappointed with her follow-up. Can't we have some din-dins? We thought it was lazy and derivative.
She was lovely. She nibbled a hole in my trousers. That's why we
Oh,
chose her.
Bessie?
Yeah.
Look, look at the
Not
meandering
the
story.
plumber.
Meandered off.
At the moment, there's a plumber's legs hanging out.
Danging
of the
through
roof.
it. Someone's
There's a cat
there's
eating
a
some
talking
dinner.
cat, a dog that arrived in 1985. What's wrong with you?
Nothing is wrong with me. Only
Where's
in
the
your
story
mind are these
resolved?
absurd.
Only in your mind.
Look,
Trevor,
the-
people
the-
are listening to this.
the
Text us if you
plumber-
think there's something wrong with that lad.
the plumber-
64446.
Fell through the ceiling of the kitchen, landed
It's
on
a
Sammy.
bungalow. What's he even doing in the roof? It goes against
That's where
everything
the-
bungalows stand
That's
for.
where the bungalows have roofs, don't they? And that's where the boiler was or something. And anyway, he fell through.
Boiler on
something.
the roof.
Oh, I don't know, something that people plumb, and he came through. It made a big commotion,
Yeah.
and then I can remember running into the kitchen and saying, "Mummy, what had happened?" Something like that. And then when you were
Mummy, what had happened? Mummy, what had happened?
something
Why
like
are you
that.
There was
referring
a, there was
to
a bit
the
of a
past
time
tense?
slip in
Well,
the
I
lock.
was
What
young.
happened?
Well, I was
Why
young.
are you
I hadn't
talking
learned
about
about,
it?
the past tense of language yet.
No.
You were
She-
3.
Although
You're,
now you
you're
live in the
running and
past
asking
tense.
people
I
what's
wasn't
going on.
ru-
In the past tense.
I could run when I
What
was
3-year-old were you?
Mummy, what will happen just then?
Mummy, what was that? Yesterday stinks like bacon, Mum, and tomorrow's all over my finger.
He wasn't anywhere to be seen. I said, "Where's that plumber?"
I like
Because
it.
we didn't get many men in the house, so it was
I'm
interesting
not surprised
for
I'm probably
me.
driven away by you, sprinting around asking baffling, perplexing, enigmatic questions.
We didn't get
that
many
denied
men
existence
in the
of
house.
time.
We didn't have visitors. It
What
was
do you want men in the house for, Trevor? What was it, a bordello? What exactly was going on in that place?
We didn't have visitors. It was a
The Locke family rub down. Get yourself soaked and finished off. Dangle through the ceiling, have your little legs wiggling through the ceiling, while Trevor and his family scurry around like feeding gerbils round a water bottle.
You'll turn on you'll turn on a sixpence to bring anything round to sex you. An innocent conversation in a pub.
An innocent lift home for a girl. A
An
friend.
innocent exploitation of a resource Matthew and I worked very hard to build up.
Oh dear, oh dear. Anyway, I said to her, "Where is he?" And she said, "He fell through the ceiling. He's disappeared. I think he's embarrassed."
He's embarrassed. embarrassed?
Because I think she
An
said...
embarrassed plumber?
Because apparently, this is what she told me.
So
She
he
said,
just ran off all covered in
Oh,
plaster.
listen.
And he's behind a bush.
Well, I'll never live this down.
this is why
That
it's stuck.
3-year-old child and a talking cat saw this. I'm off.
I better explain this to him yesterday.
The cat didn't talk then. Listen, this is why it's stuck in my memory, because she told me, I think he's gone off to have a jolly good swear somewhere.
A jolly good swear.
Yeah.
What did you think that meant, Trev?
I just pictured him going behind a bush and saying all these swear words.
You pictured that, did you, in your
Yes,
little
I did.
3-year-old mind?
Yeah, and then he came back and he plastered it up.
He plastered it right
He
up.
was a plumber.
Yeah, I know.
Not a
What's he
plaster.
doing
I know.
plastering
So it must have been
for?
quite bad.
I got called a scab for doing less than that. What's he doing? Stepping on plasterer's toes, this plumber in your house.
Well, he had to. He's the one who made the hole.
Did it look
He's not-
right, or did he use copper and plumbing
didn't look good.
material?
Was it a
There
big
was
load of pipes
for
sticking out?
years, until
Did it
we
look
moved
like
out.
the Tin Man's appendages?
Until we moved out, you could still see the hole. And
Did you?
I grew up looking up there thinking, oh, yeah, that was the day the plumber
Thinking
fell through.
one day I'll reach the heights. I'll be a radio star one day. And Trevor, you may yet achieve greatness. Not on this show though, where you seem to be bound to mediocrity.
Well, bound to you anyway, aren't I?
Oh, you spiteful! Oh, hello.
Well, you bring
Oh.
everything down to sex, don't you?
It's
At
true.
the end of
You
the
don't
day.
bring down to sex. You go up to sex. That is the apex of existence.
No,
what
it isn't.
else is there,
It
Trevor?
isn't. It isn't. You've got you live in an inverted triangle. You do.
I do not.
You do.
Don't you say I live in inverted triangle?
I went to his house yesterday.
You've
and
confused the monkey
It
with
was
the angel.
not. It's a lovely little terrace. An inverted triangle.
Yeah.
I'm not Whizbit. You get a grip. You better get a grip of yourself, young man. Oh dear. Look, what is it, Trev?
Look, I'm saying all animals have sexual intercourse. Okay.
Yeah, with you, most of them.
But the
Poor little
angels,
sods.
the angels don't. They're
What,
asexual.
the
Probably
angels
for the
don't exist.
simple
The angels
reason
are
there aren't any
asexual.
angels.
There aren't any angels.
The angels are asexual.
William Blake saw angels in a tree in
Yeah, he was
Peckham.
on drugs.
He wasn't
was a
on
drug
drugs. He
addict,
was
Trev.
6 years old.
Well, more's the pity. He should have waited till he was 12. William Blake, mate, is not he's a poet genius and everything.
Exactly.
It's not like he's just keeping a log of things he sees. Went down to Peckham Rye earlier. Trees are full of angels. He's a poet. He's the last person you can trust.
He was a child then. He wasn't
what
a
happened-
poet then. That
when
was not
Be-
a poetic-
He was a child poet.
He wasn't.
Of course he was.
He
He
was-
wrote Twinkle
He had
Twinkle
visions
Little
when he
Star.
was
He
a
done
child.
lyrics.
Crying out loud. He
Trevor,
didn't start-
if you let a poet, visionary, but get involved in the world of pragmatism, what happens is Nazi Germany. Hitler was an artist who rose to power, and what happens is people get killed, Trevor.
Don't bring Hitler back into
I
this.
will bring Hitler into this.
That is. I mean, is that
I
why? That's
will
why you're
bring
a
him in.
vegetarian, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's
Yeah, I
not.
don't remember
It
last
is
time.
animals.
What would Hitler do in this situation?
He would eat the vegetarian
What
option.
would Hitler do if he was off work for a few weeks and needed an excuse? I will do the AIDS lie.
Have you ever seen Hitler's paintings?
Yeah, they're alright, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh,
Although what he'd
please.
done was bad, not his paintings.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying his paintings.
I know,
odd.
I'm just saying, in
Like,
case someone's listening to this and thinking, well, that Holocaust was a bit out of order. Do you know what I mean? I thought, qualify that,
yeah.
make sure people
but
know
the paintings of horses and stuff.
they're fine. Fine. It's okay to do a paint of a horse, just don't do an Holocaust.
Yeah, that's
Horses,
what I
yes.
live by that.
Holocaust, no. None more. Right, okay, should we listen to Michael Jackson when he were a lad himself, eh? Before all the nonsense, and then
Imagine
brothers of his. What?
Just imagine that.
Yeah,
Him
imagine
being
it.
a lad.
Nice, wasn't he? He was a lovely
Looking
little
all
lad.
normal.
Was a
You could
lovely
see
lad.
him embodying genius as a child. If you've seen that footage of him in black and white, all dancing around just before, you just think, fuck,
And
you just
joy.
think, blimey, he embodies genius.
It was joy,
It was
wasn't
close,
it?
isn't it?
Yeah.
What's the matter, Trev?
Nothing's the matter.
It
mate.
brings joy, you say.
I'm just saying it was embodying
Joyful.
joy.
Yes,
It was
very
joyful.
much.
Have you heard of Michael Jackson, Trev?
Oh, yeah, of course I have. I'm a big fan of him.
Popular singer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like him.
Trevor, you dwell in Neverland psychologically. Yeah, well, Peter, Bjorn and John with their record, what goes called Young Folks, is called that. Before that was the news, which you may have noticed was interrupted, I believe, by the Paddingtons. That is because Trevor Locke strayed into the buttons area of the studio and started tampering with them. Trevor said, "We don't need news. Things that have just happened do not interest me," and said, "I'll rather listen to one of my hit LPs."
No, it was an experiment. I wanted to put a bed of music underneath the news. I didn't mean to drown it out completely.
Very, very. It's a terrible way to conduct yourself, may I say.
Never
Trev.
touch my buttons again, Trev.
Don't touch boys'
All my
buttons.
women.
Or girlfriends.
What about your fly buttons, Matthew?
Oh crikey!
Especially those.
Here we've got some. We now have got some good email. Trevor just got a text message on his phone saying, "Eat your fudge. Turn your phone off." So people out there have just got Trev's phone number.
I
It's
gave
fun,
it out on
isn't it?
air once, and now
He gets things like that. Trevor, you look like you look all pale and hyperglycemic. Perhaps you ought to eat some sugar in some form. What form, perhaps, do you think?
Fudge.
Fudge! Eat some fudge, Trev! Don't you be sarcastic, you little...
You couldn't even think of a thing that I was.
I could think of about 9, but they would all have got me sacked. Dear gang, says Andy Grimes from Leighton Buzzard. That's good to be called Andy Grimes. I like that.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Because that's that bloke out of The Simpsons. Who
He
was
should have a
Homer's enemy.
gang. Andy Grimes gang.
Andy Grimes, I've got a good gang. Hear the song that we all sang. Andy Grimes, stop penalising us for being different. So, dear gang, says Andy Grimes, I lived in a shared house for 3 years and I had to live in the box room. It was so small that I once had to ask my housemate to leave the room because I wanted to open the wardrobe. But what was in the wardrobe, Andy? Be honest. Also, it had spongy textured wallpaper so blue tack wouldn't stick to it. I know that wallpaper.
Oh, yeah, that's
Annoying. And then it
Use
was a
drawing
little
pins.
greasy, like little mark where the blue tack a bit.
Oh, God.
Other blue
Oh,
sticky
God.
things are available.
They are.
Most of them come out of Trevor.
That's not true, though.
And my ocean. Yes, they are. There's Bostik do one. Other glues are available.
well,
Don't
apart
use them
from
for
those two,
wrong.
there just
Don't
nothing
use them
like
for Trev's evil, vile, recreational
Blue
uses.
tag, that's not a brand name anymore. That's
It
It is. Blue
It is.
tack
That's
is a
like
brand name.
Hoover, it's just ubiquitous.
It's ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Yeah, but blue tack, it puts them in an advantageous position.
Against what?
It's success.
Bosto tack, that's what. And red glob. And yellow sticky things. Right, so this fella, anyway, he couldn't, Andy Grimes, he couldn't stick things to his wall because of that daft wallpaper of his, and his ocean colour scene poster would always fall on his head and startle me when I was asleep, he says. It is startling if something falls on your head when you're
Yeah.
asleep.
Yeah, once a bookshelf fell on me when I was asleep and I woke up screaming.
I don't blame it, Trevor, after the abominable crimes you've done against literature. What about when we were in the flotation tanks and he was going, I was in bliss? Me, Matt and Trevor went on a flotation tank. Trevor goes, I was in bliss, and a water jet sprayed in my face as if he'd been sexually abused by that flotation tank.
Well,
Bless him.
in a manner of speaking.
Do you remember when you lived above a church
Yeah, good, wasn't it?
and that bag fell on that man?
Yeah, that was what happened, Matt. We were watching the football on the telly when it was England v Greece.
Yeah. No, was it
can't-
football? Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Because Andy was there. We were watching
Yeah.
football and we ordered a pizza
We lived high up in a church.
high
a
up. We
converted
couldn't be
church.
bothered
You
to
lived in
go
a church?
It'd been converted.
Oh, right.
above a church. There was still a church there, wasn't there?
Nah, they'd turn that into a pub.
How would they?
They call it progress.
Oh, God.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
God's house.
God's house. Jesus drove the thieves out of the temple. Go on then, Matthew.
And we ordered a pizza, but we couldn't be bothered to go downstairs. So when the man arrived, we just went. We had like a sports bag and a load. What did we have? Loads of like a washing line string.
Yeah, we like goes. Yeah, we'll put the money
We
in
just
this
shut it
bag.
down. We put the money in the
load it
front
down
pocket, lowered it down to the street, like about 3 or 4 stories.
God, what were you afraid of? The plague?
We couldn't. I don't
didn't
think it
wanna
was a
go
bit
down
like
there.
that. I think we
with
just.
that bloke.
But we couldn't be bothered to go
Oh, I
down there,
see,
so we
right.
said it was fun as well.
Yeah,
So we lowered the
It
bag
was
down,
fun.
and we said put the pizza in there. It took him a while to go along with it. And he
Yeah.
put the pizza, but what we didn't count on was you get a free 2-litre bottle of Coke
Yeah.
or
Or
other
other
drinks.
drinks are available.
Too
And
heavy.
he put it in there. We got it about 3/4 of the way up, and he was standing there. And then he got into the idea when he saw it sailing above
Sailing
him.
up, swinging, eh?
He
Thought
was
this
sort of
was a
smiling.
good experiment.
Then it broke and fell on him
Fell right on his little head.
really,
All came
really
back.
hard. Like
What go up must come down.
you know when someone like sort of staggers, like walks around like holding his head, all confused, and then we had to go down.
Yeah,
and
waste
just
your time.
Do it with our legs.
Oh, dear.
We were sickened we were by that leg
you
work.
got an anecdote out of it.
It was funny
What
though.
are you saying? We got an anecdote out of it.
That's
what
what I
did he
said.
get though? Brain damage, poor sod.
He's got an anecdote as well.
Hello, Russ. If he can ever tell it again after the damage he sustained, it would just be a load of stammering nonsense. Hello, Russ, Matt, and Cocky, says Stuart. Many moons ago, I used to share a flat with a gay woman couple. That's a weird way of phrasing that, isn't it? A gay
Lesbians.
woman couple. They're gay woman couple! That's weird. I think it is. It's called Stuart. What's the problem? Gay woman couple! They used to nick my boxer shorts when they were out of clean underwear and always tried to get off with and nick any girlfriends I would bring back. That's good, isn't it?
That's
Yeah.
a bit like old Trev.
Trevor. And Trevor does pretend to be a lesbian on his MySpace page.
Oh,
All
dear,
making
oh,
sense.
All adds up. By the way, feel free to drop in before your Cheltenham gig, says Stuart. All right, we'll pop in. Me and Trill, we're touring the country. Matt, you'll be coming as well because we're doing our radio show.
Are we doing Cheltenham, are we?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know.
Nice.
Morning, men. I've been living in a caravan with my wife and mother-in-law, who announced she needed bigger shoes to stop her falling over. In a caravan from France, from Pete. That's from Pete.
Do you think the caravan's mobile then?
Yeah, and I think probably she thinks if I have like snow boots on
I
or them
won't fall
tennis
over.
rackets Eskimos have, then she'll better like, stay balanced all the time.
What a bizarre lifestyle.
Well, that's Pete the bedroom man, I think.
Oh,
Unless
is
it's
it?
someone else called Pete. Oh yeah, it's a popular name. Here's another one from Nicola in Birmingham. She goes, "Hi Russell. I lived above a pub and worked in it for a couple of years during the 90s and during Euro 96. It was the best years of my life. Sometimes I didn't leave that place for a couple of weeks. I picked the music on the jukebox, stole beer and fags from the bar, and had the key to the pool table. I was single and used to lure boys back to my pub after hours and beat them at pool." Interesting. "I used to take loads of drugs as well and left eventually as I thought I was going to kill myself." Nicola from Birmingham. Nice one, Nicola.
Well, the best years of her life, and then she was going to kill herself.
It's odd, isn't it?
Do you reckon
Perhaps it's
she-
because of their demise.
Or she realised, these were the best years. What you and she didn't.
Might as well
she
kill myself now. It's never going
claim
to be
that
this
back.
good again.
Yeah.
Like, I used to live above that pub.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Matthew always takes a mick out of this because
When he was in rehab, he had to write his life story in an exercise book for an exercise.
Yeah, because I was all true. I was good.
But I think we've mentioned this before. But because it's him, he wrote it as if it was being read by one man.
One man's struggle against drugs.
And it was like everything had been written to be read out to make him look cool.
It was meant to
Absolutely
be
everything.
saving me from drug addiction.
Yeah, every single thing. It was, like, it was at this point. There's a load of cliches.
Yeah.
It was at this point I realised I was different to other people.
Say things like that.
He says things like that. And there was one bit. It goes, I lived above a pub. It was in that voice. It was ridiculous. I think I actually took the mick out of it.
Yeah, you
didn't I?
did. While I was up there, I'd been off drugs about a week, dying. And Matt come read my life story
I
out.
got drunk, read his life story out, the whole thing.
They'd slept in the same bed as me, so got harping on about girls in London while I was up there shivering away in my little drug hellhole, all clucking and taking Subutex.
It's funny. Though. He goes, every morning I'd walk through the bar to leave to go to college, and I'd just make a drink from all the drinks that were there, just a crazy cocktail. I'd drink that and I'd be on my
Sometimes
way.
the drink weren't even very nice. I just drank it down in a wave.
I just knocked it back and left. Sometimes I didn't even check the door was locked.
Once I left without trousers on.
Yeah, and then it goes, and it was at this, this is ridiculous. It was around this time that a mouse lived in my hair.
A mouse did live in my hair. Elvis the mouse. He liked it there.
It
It's
never
nice to have a
did.
mouse.
You
Right?
had a mouse live in your
Yeah,
hair?
he did, right? I was doing a part in this sort of, I don't know, Jacobean play or something, playing some villain. And I thought, oh, because if he had a mouse living in his hair, that would get me attention around the drama
How'd
school.
you make it live there?
You just put it there and make bloody well damn sure it's not got access to any way out of your head.
Did you hurt its legs to stop it moving?
No, its legs were free to
Did it have a
move.
safety pin for its waist?
Oh yes, he did have a little pinny waist. He had his little pin belt. Twist the pin belt, Elvis will behave. Jab the old pin belt, Elvis sleeping now. But Elvis the mouse, right? He used to poo and wee in my hair.
Well, that's not a surprise, is
Yeah, they're
it?
incontinent mice, of course.
Well, no, they just don't really
Why
care
don't they have
about
more
where they go
manners
to the
than-
toilet.
They are incontinent, aren't they? They were always
Poo and
weeing.
wee in your hair. So my hair was full of mouse poo and wee.
But
And then eventually Elvis the mouse just left to live his own life. He said that I was holding him back or something, right? And then it was funny because there were other mice living in the drama school and in a ballet.
was he a
lesson.
wild mouse?
No, he was just a natural, normal guy. He was just
I
trying to
mean,
live
was
his
he a
life.
wild mouse? Was he a drinker? Was he Oliver Reed of the mouse world? I mean,
Right,
was he a...
okay, if I don't get some cheese, I'm going to punch this rent boy. Like that.
I mean, was it not from a pet shop?
Yeah, it was from a pet shop. Yeah, it was from a pet shop.
So what did he get? He went and lived with the wild mice.
He went and lived with the wild mice,
Where did
like
you meet
Mowgli in reverse.
Where did
What?
you meet this mouse?
I had to go him down a pet shop, I bored.
You went to a pet shop
Got
and
a
bought a
mouse.
mouse for your hair.
Then just put him in my hair. I goes, I'll have a mouse, please. Just
Did
one
you
mouse
try
for
a
the
few of
hair.
them out first in the mirror?
Some of them didn't suit Trev. Some of those mice looked like bloody ridiculous in my hair. Looked like a silly beret. And then they effed off to live with the other mice, right? And then someone after some ballet class with a year below me, because they were ballet classes, I used to do them drunk. Some days I had my tights on backwards. I used to do they're the ballet class. They come running out of the ballet room and goes, Russell, we've just seen Elvis, your mouse. And then someone goes, yeah, he looks like he's all been roughed up and that. And he'd been living grubby and had all stains on him, and he was wearing a little leather waistcoat and had been corrupted by them other mice.
Oh.
I think he might have died soon after. Oh. Well, you
Elvis
don't know,
is
that
dead.
would be all right. Elvis is dead, apparently, poor fella. But, you know, if you strain, you feel pain. That is the Elvis motto.
But you've got to admit, if you're reading someone's life story, and that was just thrown in. It was around this time a mouse lived in my hair.
I know, I was just
sounds
trying to
like
make
madness.
myself... It's good for the other junkies to realise...
Have you still got that
things
life story? I'd love
Yeah,
to.
I have. I've got the life story, and I've also got the recording of you being brutally insensitive to a man who had been off heroin for about 5 days.
What did you do?
I just ripped the Mickey out of him.
Rip the Mickey, I ripped the Mickey. Right, and then what about that? Yeah, that was funny though when I lived above that pub. I used to I was just loose in the pub, just used to drink all the drinks there, give drinks away to other people. Then this bloke called Tommy, King of the Gypsies, right? There's this.
That's just bizarre, isn't it? It's like his life.
Yeah, well, it is a little bit. This is a family like of all these sort of Irish travellers that had been like put onto council estates, and I don't think they wanted to be there because they were in a terrible mood.
I'd
They
change
used to
their
come in the
names if
pub.
I was you.
Huh?
I'd change their
Oh,
names.
yeah. Dave.
King of the Gypsies.
King of the Gypsies, Prince of the Diddy Coys, right? They used to come in the pub and it's like, you know, like it goes, oh, we'll reduce this place to matchwood, right? And then there's the one time, he's this guy, right? His brother was this bloke had just come out of prison, right? And he was one of this family. Sat in the pub all day, and I'd give him free drinks because like you had to because they were violent, and like these particular group of people, right? And like at the end of the day, right, he followed me. I went to the lavvy, he followed me in there, right? And all day he's been really hard and like sort of like aggressive, sort of alpha male. Followed me into the toilet and goes, "You're quite good looking, you're a good looking lad." I was, oh, that's very flattering. I didn't know what to say. And he goes,
But you stink of mouse urine.
he goes, "I'd like to kiss you." I goes, "Oh no, I'm not that sort of girl." I mean, I was all nervous about it, right? And then I sort of like bustled my way out of the
Shouldn't have said
lavvy, scared. And then he goes to me, right, okay, come back over to the bar. I goes, "Come on, mate." He goes, "Oh no, you've hurt my feelings." He goes, "You've hurt my feelings." He goes, "You've got 48 hours to get out of Kentish Town." 48 hours?
To get out of Kentish Town.
To get out of Kentish Town? Well, you know, I could get a bus. I could probably go in 20 minutes. So that's too much time, if
That's
anything.
terrifying.
I was ever so scared. I thought they're going to kill me, these people, but they didn't. They said they did say, he goes, "My brother's got a shooter. We're going to kill you." Oh no!
He turned into a farmer there.
I got to kill you. He became less frightening. I thought surely you're going to have to concentrate on leaving one field fallow for a year. You ain't got time to muck about killing me.
That's really scary.
Yeah, it was scary. Let's listen to more stories now. We've got some good. Keep sending us texts if you like, 64046. We'll have a right laugh. We've got Sonic Enigma coming up. Master Sue is coming on the show. Pinch my skin! Pinch my skin! He's our Tai Chi teacher. We had a Tai Chi lesson with him, me, Matt and Trevor. We had an experience together. He's a brilliant Tai Chi teacher. But one can only say he is a braggart and a narcissist using Tai Chi to pull birds and kick blokes' heads in boozers.
Six Music.
What's up, Trevor? Why are you so confused?
I got lost in a reverie.
Don't ever get lost in reveries. That's what William Blakey used to do. "Here, I'll get you, butler. There's angels on the rye."
That was funny.
It's good, isn't it?
It's nice. I like that. No one's ever done that
Of
before.
course, they ain't used Blakey from On the Buses
You been sarky?
to describe William Blake.
I think I was being genuine.
Tiger,
It's a
tiger,
good idea. That could be a whole routine.
tiger, tiger.
I think that should be your next Edinburgh show.
What,
you should
me?
do William Blake poems
As Blakey from On the Buses.
Yeah.
I'll give it a whirl,
It
Trev.
could run and run.
Trevor, you'll destroy my career. It probably could only last 5 minutes at most. This is a letter that's been written down a computer from Sally. She goes, "William Blake may not have been a drug addict as a child, but he was schizophrenic. My mentalism would be more interesting if I saw angels. You broke the news. You broke the news." Lovely day-to-day reference. Trevor, you've broke the news.
Good.
Trevor, Matt and Russell, says Lorna. "I lived in a
In the
tenement
right order.
Actually, yeah. What the heck? Lorna, what's wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong
Why
with
have you
her.
put Trevor first?
Well, have a think
Lorna,
about
you
it.
better write another
Have a
email
think.
addressed to the lovely Russell, the delightful Matt, and that goon they have with them, who's even now caked in his own dried spittle that you could break away like Superman's
my
crystal
spittle, mate.
computer machine. Well, anyway, Lorna, go. "I lived in a tenement in Glasgow with a downstairs neighbour who was a junkie Ned, who blasted techno music all the time. One time we had a party and he came upstairs drunk, shouting and screaming, and punched me. So my boyfriend jumped on him and threw him down the stairs. His girlfriend said to me as way of explanation for his violence, 'He's getting married in the morning.' If he can't punch women now, when can he? If you can't, on the eve of your wedding, smack women square in the jaw, what kind of society are we living in?" Another time, we came home to find a loaf of bread sitting on the doorstep. We thought it was some threatening message, like a horse's head in the bed. but I'd never heard of a loaf of bread being used for such a thing. It was sinister, says Lorna. What a lovely time in her life that must have been. Matthew, have you got any anecdotes about places you've lived? Oh, yeah, why don't you ponder your
I'm
plate?
just looking at my little list of things.
You've got a little list of things, isn't he? Any professional these days? Matt Morgan's got a list of things. I'll just tell you some
What
other
about
things. Go on.
My time capsule.
Oh, Tears, he had a
lived
time
in a time
capsule.
I had a time capsule.
Didn't live in it, Trev. Otherwise you wouldn't be
Well,
here now, would
you
you?
made it. You buried it in the garden.
Me and my little brother.
Yeah.
When I think I was about 12, 13, and he was 4 years younger
Every
than me.
time you tell this story,
You'll
you've
do
aged
the
a
math.
couple of years.
Huh?
Every time you tell this story, you've aged a couple of years. Last
Have
time
I?
you told me you was
It was
10
2
and he
years
was
ago
6.
when he told you last time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I still would say...
Hello.
Turn your phone off, eat some fudge.
Look at that bark.
Who was that?
Barks on the phone.
Yeah. What do you want? You want me to be in the old days? Clear it off, you bloody granddad. So, go on, Matthew. Time capsule.
yeah,
We're living in a time capsule. Barks on a telephone.
Me and my little brother said, oh yeah, let's put a time capsule in the garden, then we'll draw a map where it is, and then we'll dig it up in a few years' time.
Good
So
idea.
we both wrote a letter to our future selves.
What was it
Oh.
like, the letter?
I don't know, I didn't read his, but mine was sort of...
What were you saying to yourself?
I think it was... I don't know.
You were going, well, when you grown up, probably we've got Big Dinkle now. I love you. Can you go to the toilet without crying yet? Is that crow still in the wall?
Yeah, stuff like that, really.
Like that. Matt had a crow living in his wall. He liked
You had a mouse living in your house, shut up.
Well, at least my mouse was named after a pop star. What was that crow called?
Mr. Scratchy.
Mr. Scratchy. You
wasn't-
scared, Matt?
Listen to my story.
Okay, go on then.
And so we buried this thing, and we drew a little map to where it was.
But what was in it?
Oh, it was like there's a letter to each to our future selves.
Yeah.
There was some. Like, it was a bit of a newspaper from that day.
Uh-huh.
There was, I think, some sort of bit of food, which I
Bit of
hope-
food?
I
Just some
don't know.
fudge.
Can't remember. But it's things that I thought, oh, that'd be good to see what happens to that in 50 years' time.
We'll come back here. We'll be heroes.
And then we went inside. We were all happy about it. And then my mum said, "Have you signed Granddad's birthday card?" And we said, "I don't know. Where is it?" And she said, "It was on the table when you were doing that stupid time capsule." It turned out we couldn't find his birthday card. So my mum goes, "Get outside and dig it up."
Mate, dig up the time capsule. Only been down there 5 minutes. We're still a little bit excited.
To dig it up?
Sort of
Oh, it's
think,
good, 'cause you
I
had to-
wonder what's changed. Hey, to think back in those days, we ate apples. Crazy times, though, yeah.
We dug it up. Granddad's birthday card wasn't in there. And then we just went, didn't bury it.
Because you just lost the magic.
We lost the magic.
We'll make a time capsule. That's free. Trevor, don't beat the desk like that.
No,
Certainly
because
not with that appendage.
Imagine if you did, right? You, for one, would want to dig it up every day. It's like when
Why?
me and my sister found a dead bird. My mum said, put it in a margarine tub and put it in
Yeah.
the bin. And then
You kept going
about
back and
2
looking at
days
it.
later, we went back. We were little kids. We were about 3 and 5. And we went over and went, let's look at that bird. And we opened it up. And it was alive with maggots. And it shattered our illusions.
We used to do that as well. at
What did
school.
you used to do at school,
I remember
Trevor?
one of my earliest memories of being at school was to bury a
That's
little...
the second time he's used that phrase today. Oh, one of my earliest memories.
I mean,
was a
in my
plumber's leg.
memoirs on page 9.
If you look at my memoirs, the pages that aren't gummed together with my excuse for abuse, you'll read that these things happened to me at school. That's right, Trev. Look over like you're all disappointed with me. But what you should be disappointed with is your silly fat self.
Little birds used to die and fall into the playground, and we
Did
would
they
bury them.
die, Trevor? Or were they poisoned?
You used to die and fall into the plate. What, from the
Trevor,
sky?
that's from Danny, the champion of the world. That's a Roald Dahl book.
They fell. They fell out of the nest that
There
were
was a
underneath the
contest.
eaves
Oh, okay.
of the thing, and
Underneath the eaves.
underneath the eaves, and then we'd bury them, and then we'd dig them up a few days later and have
See
a
what
look.
happened to them.
See what
Kids
happened
do. Like, you'll cry over a gerbil that's died and bury it in the garden. Then about 2 days later, you'll think, I want to see what's happened to that and dig it up.
Yeah, it's good when you're a child to think like that. I had a newt, and that newt then died because I think someone maybe stood on him.
Where did it live? Up your pants?
Why? No, because they need amphibious conditions. They lived in,
Exactly.
he lived in a little... But listen, there's no bleeding aqua.
In your rubber knickers.
Down my rubber panty poo pots. There's a bit of marshland over there. No, he lived in a nice tank. And like, I say tank.
Go
An
on.
armoured
Go
car.
on, someone. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, Trevor.
Trevor's got up on his chair after
Trevor, why are
that.
you up on his chair? Why are you perched there?
I don't know.
Sit down, Trevor.
I got a little bit of
Oh,
cramp.
we've got a surprise for old Trev.
Trevor, yeah, we know we're talking about homes and everything like that.
Have you bought me?
We've got you a house.
We've got you a little house, Trev. Also, we've got this book that me and Trev contributed to. It's called That Which Is Not Said, a collection of comedians' poetry, right?
We're going to give away copies as
Drawing
prizes.
by David Shrigley on the front. He's brilliant, that bloke, isn't he? That David Shrigley.
And there's
He's
some
well
excellent poems by Tim
Poem
Key.
by me, poem by Cocky Trevor Locke, Simon Day, Simon Munnery, Paul Footy, Phil Nicol. Loads of good poems by comedians. And I think all the money goes to the homeless, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
They might as well just have spent the money they spent on binding these books on heroin, thrown it out of a window.
Harry Hill.
Harry Hill's contributed
Stuart
something.
Lee.
Good, all right, it's just a list of names. It's
good.
Anyway, right, you could, like, this is about homeless people. So, Trevor, we thought, like, you know, as you've contributed to this, you should benefit. So why don't you become homeless and live in a box? Why don't you? Anyway, so for the rest of the show, Trev, you'll be inside a box.
You're going to be in a box like a rodent.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's box you up.
Like a rodent or a homeless person.
Oh, dear, that's how it
Will there be
started.
torn up newspaper for me?
Of course there will. When you do
You
your
can do what you
droppings,
like in
do
there,
them in
mate.
one corner.
Where is it?
Where is
We'll
it?
get
then?
your box during... We'll listen to Bowie, and then after that, Trevor's going to be living in a box in a very literal way. Let's listen to Bowie, shall we? Listen to Russell Brand on Six Music, me with Matt Morgan and Cocker Trevor Locker. G's here, our poet laureate. He's going to be judging later a poem competition, right? He's confused, we ain't told him. Right? There's this poem book you can read, written by comedians to raise money for the homeless. Tim Key's poems seem to be the best so far. We've
They're
been
brilliant.
reading them.
Tim
Well,
Key,
properly
what a
funny.
poet.
So, like... Oh, Trevor! Turn your phone off! Eat your fudge! Right? So G will be judging that competition a bit later. You've got to say, does Matt and Trev think it should be a haiku? Because they think that will mean you write short poems. I think just write a short poem. It could be a limerick. Trevor! Turn your phone off! Eat your fudge, Trev! And Trevor... So yeah, it's raise money for the homeless. G will be judging it. Send us your haikus and short poems and that. And Trevor will be... for the rest of the show, Trevor will be conducting his snide remarks and comments from in a box, which we've brought into the studio. How do you feel about that, Trevor?
I
being
shall
in
not
a box?
go into the box.
You are going in that
Get
box.
in that box.
Get in your box, Trev.
Get in there,
Trevor, get in your box.
Why?
How ironic, Trev.
You
that
brought a cardboard
Trevor,
box into the studio.
How ironic that you, who have so long chided the homeless, now yourself live inside a box.
Yes.
Perhaps now, Trevor, when you're in the bull ring in Waterloo, you won't walk past homeless gentlemen, tramps, gentlemen of the road, flipping them arrogantly a farthing, saying, this is an antiquated currency, buy yourself some antiquated soup. You now will know what it is to be homeless. The final irony.
He kicks their hats.
He kicks their hats.
Up the street.
He goes, yeah, I'll give you 50p, but I'm going to be playing a bit of what I call foot hat or hat ball. And then he runs off kicking their hat,
I did that
giggling to
once,
himself.
and it was clearly a joke, and he understood. And I bought
Trevor,
him a
why are
cup
you
of-
not in your box? Get in your box.
Get in your
Trevor.
box. Why?
Get in your box.
Why have you gone to the trouble of getting me a box?
Make him get in there, Matthew. Physically put him in a box. He's been lifted up. He's been forced into a box. Don't break it. Mark, who constructed the box, is proud of his box.
in there, Trevor.
Get right in the box,
Down.
Trevor. I don't want to see your face. Be within the box. Put the lid on the box. Right, Trevor is now in a hexagonal box that we've constructed. His microphone, that is the noise, is the sound of his microphone being put in the box. Trevor, slayer of homeless people, kicker of their hats, is now himself in a box. Trevor, if you want a wee or any other form of micturation or defecation, you will do it in the box.
I will do it in the box, and then you'll be sorry.
I will not be sorry. Trevor, your box
You'll have to
stinks.
muck me out.
What? I'm not mucking
Look,
out his box.
I'm
Matthew.
for life, not just for Christmas.
You
You've
aren't
got
even
me.
for Christmas. You've got nothing to do with the legend
The
of
most
Christ.
selfish thing is he's taken up the
Selfish.
whole side of the studio with his box.
Oh, Trevor, do you have to consume, like some real estate merchant, the entire left side of the studio, the entire left flank, one of the most beloved parts of the studio, with your selfish box?
You are a perverted, kinky little
Get
man.
in your box! Stay in there!
They're kicking the box now. That's what.
People will kick your box, Trevor.
I'll let the listeners judge you two. Oh,
Do you like it in your box, Trev?
I do, because I don't have to see your dirty little face.
Trevor.
Trevor, you're not even allowed an air hole.
Trevor, and if I so much as hear a zip moving in that box, I will come down on you so hard, Locke.
Well, that wouldn't be the first time, would it? Let's be honest.
Trevor, since you've been in that box, you've become unbearable. Matt, he thinks of that box as his principality. He thinks of himself as Lord of the Box in
Look,
there, doesn't he?
I'm under house arrest, and I am conducting a campaign.
You're not
If you
Pinochet.
could hear
You're
me,
not Pinochet,
come down
Trev.
to this Westland house in Gildea Street and picket for my release.
Come
I
down
am
to
imprisoned
it.
against
What's
my
your
will.
idea? Shut up, Trevor.
Trev.
You're in your box for a reason.
Please,
It's a
if
punishment.
you could hear me.
Trev, do you
If
want
had-
to play a game?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
let's play a game.
All right.
This is the game.
Okay.
A pen is going to jab through the box. Try and guess where.
Pen jab game. It's super
Please.
pen game. Super pen jab. Jab the pen. There, Trev. You've
You
got
can hear
air
that.
holes.
I'm in danger. I'm in genuine danger of being injured here.
Right,
If
okay,
you
come down to Gildear Street, Western House, if
Please
you want to
pick it
join in with our radio
for
show.
my
You must simply say the code
release.
word, Cocky Locky in a Boxy! And then you can come and see Trevor in his box.
Well, no,
Cocky
bring
Locky in a
food,
Boxy!
water,
He's put him out there
and
on the
a
street
chemical
in there.
Trevor,
toilet.
we will put you out in the street like the homeless people that you have so long chided. How ironic that the hunter has become the hunted. That you, Matthew, and not you, Matthew, you've been a joy to the homeless. You and I have often helped her. But you, Trevor, who have ridiculed a bit. Trevor, what is going on
I
in that
have
box?
written a haiku for the homeless that's been published in that book.
Your haiku, Trevor, one load in a wonderful tome of English comics poetry, and in fact, our poets from around the world. Disgusting little match.
What position in that box?
I'm in
Fetal?
the fetal position.
Of
Oh,
course
yeah.
he's fetal. Of course he is.
No,
He's
I'm lying on my
reverted
back
to
with my
childhood,
legs in
really.
there like a little baby who's having his nappy changed.
And I
Oh.
reckon that's not where the similarity ends, is
No.
it, Trevor? I reckon you've pooped in there already, ain't
No,
you?
I haven't.
He'll do a dirty protest in that box any minute now, won't he? Right, should we do Trevor's Sonic Enigma?
Get me out of here.
No,
Stay
Trev,
in your
you have to
box.
Stay in there. And if you want some water, we're going to chuck some in. Just open your mouth.
I plead.
You're not to bounce a ball up against the wall of your box like Steve McQueen.
You'll
It is a
regret this,
punishment.
Brand. You'll regret this.
There'll
there are
be
people
no
out there.
regression in that box.
There are people out there that appreciate my contribution to this show, and they will come down to this place.
Trevor, those
they
people
will
are all in
release me.
institutions. They won't be able to leave their padded cells, and you will not leave that box. Throw
Quiet.
something at it, Matt.
Quiet in the box.
Quiet in the... There's too much noise coming from the box. Quiet in the box. Quiet in the box. Ow!
That was my shin, you nasty little
Trevor
man.
nearly swore in his
gonna
box.
swear.
Trevor, it's not a swear box. You shall be good-mannered in that box.
Trevor,
Right.
you think that's your ivory castle,
You
don't
there in your,
Your
up there
palace.
in your strutting around on your aisles
What?
in your box. Stay in your
He's
box.
just pulled a pen
Pulled
through
a
the
pen
box.
for it like a little rat. Okay, right. So let's listen to a bit of music. Trevor's in his book. When are we doing the Sonic Enigma?
Yeah, Trevor.
We shall
Trevor, why
not
are you
do
not
the Sonic
concentrating on the
Enigma.
show?
Trevor,
We're
you're
not
so
going to do it.
unprofessional. You
You're
languish,
just languish
in a box.
We need to do a Sonic Enigma. Right, should we do Trevor's
You
Sonic
never,
Enigma
you
now?
never loved that competition anyway. I
It's
don't know why
rubbish.
you're so
Let's
keen.
do it anyway.
Go on,
Should-
Trevor.
Sonic
Start
Enigma.
your ridiculous enigma.
Right, so if you recognise it, is there a jingle? Did we make
Of
one?
course, there's a jingle.
Right, okay, let's listen to Trevor's jingle, first of all, for Trevor's Sonic Enigma. This is a competition where you have to ascertain what the hell's wrong with Box Dweller Cocky Locky. Is this his jingle?
Must be.
No wonder he ended up living in a box if he was a job.
This goes on too long.
It's already gone on too long. You little box-dwelling sex maniac. What are you doing in there, Trevor? You've been very quiet.
He's dead.
I hope he's dead. Trevor, I hope this doesn't sound harsh, but I hope he dies in that box. I
It's
really
not
do.
harsh at all. It's fair.
It's very fair, isn't it? Matt, let's listen to our... We also made a jingle parody. Mark just looked in the box as if he might genuinely have died. But what's that? Let's listen
What would you
to our
do
jingle.
if we looked in the box and he'd gone?
I
Wouldn't that
think
be
it was really
haunting?
mysterious if that had happened, and also a great day for the show. Let's listen to our jingle.
Hello there, Sue Lock. I'm Bill Lock. You're my wife. I'm your husband, aren't I?
Your microphone technique's terrible, Bill.
I despise our son Trevor. My microphone technique is something I inherited backwards from him in a sex genetic tunnel that the two of us worked on together in the distant future past.
You make no sense either, Bill.
Nor does that ridiculous boy.
boy.
I'm worried about you.
Move on.
Don't move on.
man and make another boy.
So Lock, don't make no more boys out of your womb juice. The one we've got now is a disgrace. I saw him looking at Mexico 86 sticker album. He'd show particular interest to the Italian team.
We listened to this last week.
homosexual.
Also, I think he has an interest in Italians.
Yes, he's obviously got those girls at his house, the ones whose toes he cuts off one by one.
He uses those as a bracelet to impress his chums. What can we do to impede him,
Fade it out.
Sulock?
It's ridiculous.
Worse
Right,
something he'd do.
Trevor, that is worse than the Enigma itself. Trevor, are you not speaking? Look at Trevor protesting.
It's good, though.
I prefer it without Trevor
We've got his
talking.
phone as well.
Let's go for his phone and see which other ones of our friends stroke girlfriends he's been pestering. Luke sent him a text message on his phone. Luke, friend of the show, saying, wanna cry? Using our wanna try catchphrase to a very good ends. Let's listen to Trevor Cocky Locky's Sonic
the
Enigma.
actual Enigma.
Let's listen to the actual Enigma. Right, if you can work out what this is, send the answer to 64046. Trevor is still in that box, languishing. He's pretending that he's not talking, but if you listen carefully, you can hear the rhythmic beating of a man trying to cope with solitude. Let's have a listen to the Enigma.
Oh, hello, do you want to join my club? Oh, I'm afraid you're too old. You can't join this club. Do you want to lick on my 99? Right, get off me. I'm tired. I want to ride on you this time. Funny feet?
Oh, you dirty, filthy pig,
Selfish little man. He comes here with his box.
Comes in, sits languishing in a box, laying around his box like Lord God Almighty himself, and then churns out that sort of junk and expects us to tolerate it. Okay, if you know what that Sonic Enigma is, text us on 64046. Hold on a minute, I'm just going to have a look, Matt. If Trevor works, I'm worried about him. What are you doing in your box, Trevor?
Leave me alone. I was happy for a
He's
while.
lying down in there.
Well, what do you expect me to do? There's no chairs in here.
Trevor,
I'm not comfortable.
in your box. Shall I spit on him?
Don't spit.
No,
That's
no.
disgusting.
Get some water and throw it on him.
Right.
Don't do that. Oh, you'll electrocute me. I'm wired up.
He's wearing a wire.
You're wearing a wire.
He's a pig.
You're a goddamn pig. Stay in your box.
Do you know what? This reminds me of those psychological experiments they did in Harvard in the 70s. It was just a game. It started off as a game and then it became real.
Yeah, well, this
Yeah.
is already real, Trev.
It
We
is
are
real.
not leaving that
Please.
box till we've broken you down.
If
You're
you've ever
going to
had
lose
any
about 4
sympathy,
stone
if
in that
you've listened to
little
this show and you've ever had any
Send
sympathy
it if you
for me,
support
please
Trevor and
come
want him
down to the
liberated
show.
from the box,
Please turn up
64046,
to
or come
Gildea
down to
Street,
Gildea Street.
Great
Shut
Portland
up,
Street.
Trevor. You are
Please,
in that
God
box
help
to be
me.
cut, right?
Look at oh, you!
Hey, have some water in your box, Trevor.
Russell's just thrown water into the box.
Jesus!
That is the only way he'll learn. Right, Matthew, put a sack on his head, put some wires on his genitals, and then we'll drag him round like a dog,
I can't believe he's
Guantanamo
done that.
style.
He
Okay,
has
let's
soaked
listen
me
to
with
that
his dirty
Mandy
little
by the
cup
spinner
of
band.
Soiled
Guantanamo's
saliva
obviously
water.
bad.
I
I'm
could
not
die.
supporting Guantanamo Bay or America.
That's
or
a
anything
dangerous
that's
thing to
done
do. I'm
politically.
wired up.
Shut up, Trevor. Be quiet in your box.
Oh, you-
Master Sue is here.
Have you been electrocuted?
Pinch my skin. It's Master Sue. He's
is
in the
madness.
house.
Master Sue, help me. Do your
Master
kung
Sue,
fu.
Trevor is being punished. Among his crimes are abuse of the homeless, racism, killing of animals. That's just 3 of his crimes. So before you help him, consider that Trevor being in a box is perhaps the best place of him. My only regret is that it's not his coffin.
If you've ever read
Let's-
1984,
Let's listen to Oh Mandy by Spirit. Stop talking about George Orwell, Trevor. He ain't going to help you now.
Solzhenitsyn.
Room 101 for you, sunshine. Trevor, get in your box. You're not fully
You're not in it. Why is
concealed
your
in the
box
box.
collapsed?
Well,
Trevor,
I don't
what
know
are you
why it's
doing?
collapsed. Maybe some supporters have come into the studio whilst we were out.
Well, perhaps,
And
Trev,
tried
there
to
are no
rescue me.
supporters of you. Perhaps people don't support hate crimes anymore, Trevor. Perhaps people are a little bit sick and tired of the homeless being abused. Do you think that might be
Why
possible,
on
Trevor?
earth are you in a box?
What's wrong with you, boxy
What
boy?
were you thinking?
You
What's
two
up
are
with him?
mental.
Throw something at him. Throw him a book about the homeless. The final insult there.
Oh,
Take
dear.
that.
He didn't
Take
flinch.
that in your
He did not
box.
flinch.
Of course I
He
didn't
doesn't care.
flinch. I've been trained by Master Sue. I don't
Master
flinch
Sue is
anymore, do
here,
I?
Master Sue. Would you come to the microphone, Master Sue? Now, Master Sue gave us Tai Chi lessons yesterday. Who do you think did best at the old Tai Chi? I know it's not
Me.
competitive,
Me.
but if it was.
Me. Trevor.
No! Not Trevor! He lives in a box! Look at him, he's an insult!
Well, what a silly question to ask. Obviously I was the best.
Trevor was a complete teacher's pet.
He was a teacher.
Well, just 'cause I could do it.
I suppose in a way, Master Sue, you could say you use your enemy's force against them.
Yes, oh, Master Sue, can I be just like you? One day will people pinch my skin? You disgust me, Trevor. That is why you are in a box. So why did you think
He's
Trevor
sat
done?
in his box like it's a jacuzzi.
You're not in a hot tub.
What?
You're not Hugh Hefner
you're
in
jealous.
his grotto. Trevor, if I look in that box and there's one of me and Matt's girlfriends in there, nuzzling at you, you'll be trouble, you dirty little devil. Master Sue, tell us about your... So we went on Hampstead Heath, me, Master Sue, Matt, Trev, and done some Tai Chi lessons. Now, what are the fundamental principles of Tai Chi? And again, why was Trevor best?
Trevor was best because Trevor is very soft, you see.
Soft. Do you mean
very-
like flabby?
No, soft
Like a dirty fat pig?
No, very,
What,
Like
he's
a
in
cloud.
tune with the energy of
Like
the
a
universe?
cloud.
like a
cloud.
Pillow.
effeminate.
Maybe he's effeminate. He is quite effeminate. Trevor's a bit like a cloud that hates homeless people.
What you mean to
Just
say is
imagine a cloud.
I'm like a willow tree. I'm like water. I
like
flow.
a willow tree. Like a willow
I'm
tree
flexible.
spitting into
Flexible,
a
that's
homeless
what you mean to
man's
say.
cup.
Flexible, yeah.
Like a willow tree
I think we
kicking a
know-
homeless dog. That's what you're like, Trevor Cocky Locky.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
what about Matt? What did you think of Matt's Tai Chi
Matt is
techniques?
very strong.
Matt is strong. But he was...
Very strong and very hard. He need to relax more, you see.
He does need to relax
Need
more.
to de-stress.
He just wanted to fight all the time. He just wanted it to be about fighting. Matt,
I got thrown on the floor enough times.
you got to, because it had to break your confidence because you were approaching it incorrectly. Like we were going, Master Sue's going, okay, so it's no force, you have to be soft. Look at your Dantian, that's a glowing point within your core from which emanates for all of us and unites us all as part of the universe. We must be conscious of this. Turn your phone off, Trevor! Must be conscious. Eat your fudge, get in your box! We must be conscious of this at all times, Master Sue said. We're at one with the universe. Use the energy of the universe. Matt kept going, you hold on, what if I had a broken bottle? Could I do this one? Yeah, what if I'm in a bog and someone tries to get in me? And Matt just kept dragging it into the gutter constantly. But then we learned that Master Sue...
I was talking about violence. I wanted to know if someone punches you, what you do, and he...
Yeah, what if someone
There is a
goes for your ghoulies? I ain't having some punk going for my family jewels. I'll carve him up.
That's exactly how I speak.
Master Sue, though, you do use your Tai Chi, in my view, for wrong.
Tell us that story about when you went to the pub.
About that pub in Hendon.
When you went looking for chicks.
Master Sue said it was in a pub in Hendon, chatting up birds, and then when eventually one of their husbands got angry, he kicked his head in the toilet using Tai Chi.
Not true, not true.
Tell
us the story.
Tell your version, Master Sue.
The man want to bully me, so I just showed him the right way.
The man wanted to
way
bully
of
you?
No action.
Well, I don't see how it's no action to lock someone in a toilet and tell him to F off and use his own body weight to bounce his head off a sink. Blimey.
Tell us that thing where you said you're going to the hospital thing.
I told him if he don't behave himself, he's going to hospital.
And then he made him call him...
his baby.
He made him call him uncle.
Yeah, what is that you made him say?
I told him to say sorry, uncle, before I let him out.
What? Let him out. Imprisoning people. So he's not going to have sympathy for you being in a box, Trevor. You're not coming out of that box till you say, sorry, Uncle Master Sue. Sorry, Uncle Matt. Sorry, Uncle Russell. Sorry, Uncle everyone in the studio. It's that clear, Trevor. Is it clear?
I can't hear you, Russ.
Eat your fudge, you
You
little
can
pig.
shout as loud as you like, but I can't hear
Can
you.
I spit as close as I like? Can I wee on you, Trev?
If you want to do that, if that makes you happy,
It would make me joyous to
Okay,
see you
you can do
dancing
that.
in a stream of gold.
it'll just pearl
Dirty
off
little
me.
devil.
It'll pearl off me like water off a duck's back.
He's got that Tai Chi vibe now.
He's not got his Tai Chi vibe on. He's sat in his jacuzzi still. I think, Trevor, I can see a trouser tent emerging. Richie the Postman is here. Richie the Postman is
Oh, dear.
famed for pooing in people's gardens. We're going to put him in your box, Trev. See how you like that up here. Right, so if you want to enter Trevor's Sonic Enigma, text us on 64046
If
can
you
work
want to
that
enter the
out.
box as well.
We've got some interesting things coming up. Oh yeah, we want you to send a poem about the show. Mr. G will judge that poem. Make sure the poem includes a reference to Cocky Trevor Lockie, a reference to Matty Morgan, and a reference to me, or Russ. Call me what you like though, not an insult. And then we'll read out that poem on the air. The winner will get a poetry book. And we'll be able to go around Trevor's house and smash up one of his heirlooms or precious belongings of their choosing.
What about that bit in the Tai Chi lesson where you went, Master Sue, could this be used for sex?
I know that it can. It can be, can't it, Master Sue?
Yes, of course.
It can be. Why do you think he says, pinch my skin? What skin do you think that is?
Ah, that is left to the imagination.
Perfect to leave things. Nice to leave things to the imagination. Exciting. Master Sue, do the pinch my skin thing once more, please.
Pinch my skin.
Lovely. Now, I wonder if... look, Richie, you won the competition. Come over here. You won the Sonic Enigma, didn't you?
This is quite amazing.
Absolutely, it's
You're
unbelievable.
a postman. Richie, say hello, mate.
Listen,
Hello, Russ. All right, mate.
It's not
Now-
just an empty catchphrase, there is an actual physical reality
Yeah, this
behind this.
catchphrase.
bizarre.
Master Sue, would you let Richie the Postie feel your skin?
Right, first of all, he just does it normally.
Right, that's just normal. Right, that's Richie pinching his normal skin. Now say pinch my skin, please.
Pinch my skin.
I can't pinch that.
You can't pinch it, can you?
Solid
can't pinch
muscle
that
with no
skin.
fat and no skin.
Incredible. Absolute solid muscle, no pinching. If you can't pinch even an inch. Right, so send your poems, text us your stories, enter the Sonic Enigma. It's all on 64046. In a minute, we're going to be talking to Adi Adepatan. You might know him off of that, was it Beyond Boundaries? Where you Beyond Boundaries. Right, you can't hear him because he's not on mic yet, but it is called Beyond Boundaries. Also, you'll probably know him as that bloke on the BBC One idents, black geezer, basketball player in a wheelchair. That's what you'll know him as. We're going to be having a bit of a chat to him in a moment. But now, is it Led Zeppelin with a session track, Matty?
Yes.
Let's listen to that. Yeah, come on, let's all go.
Communication
In your box, Trevor. Eat your fudge.
BBC 6 Music.
Trevor, you look very smug in your box. You look like a happy little egg in an egg cup, don't you?
Yeah, I feel quite good here now. It's nice. It's
I
better
don't
than
like
sitting
you
on a
enjoying.
chair.
The box is a punishment. Look at him with his arms
Put your
spread
arms
like
in
that.
there. You're not David Blaine.
You're not Blaine. It's not a Blaine stunt. Get into the box,
I've
Trevor.
overcome it, mate.
Right, Trev, with regard to the old Sonic Enigma, let's have a listen once more to that godless trawl through Trevor's ridiculous brain.
Where is it? Here.
Let's listen to it. This is Trevor's Sonic Enigma.
Oh, hello. Do you want to join my club?
You can't
I'm
hear it in
afraid you're
studio.
too old. You can't join this club. Do you want to lick on my 99? Right, get off me. I'm tired. I want to ride on you this
I'm
time.
tired, that's what's happening.
Funny feet.
Richie, you got the Sonic Enigma right last week. Did you hear it when you were outside earlier?
Yeah.
Got any ideas?
Not the foggiest idea.
No, that's because it's baffling and difficult. Move her close to the mic.
It's not
there,
actually that
Richie.
difficult, but
Well, it's not actually that difficult, Trev.
of course it's not.
I
It's
didn't
quite
have
easy.
a clue.
Do you really think we're going to listen to the opinions of a man who lives in a box, Trevor?
Well, I think they've already been listening to my opinions. Oh, that's
Here
as
are
clever
some
as it gets
entries
now,
to your
isn't it?
ridiculous Sonic Enigma which are wrong. Trevor, is this the right answer? The Sonic Enigma is well hard this week. Is it Ride On by AC/DC, says Sam in London?
Yes,
And
well
this
done.
is the campaign for the release of Trevor Locke from his cardboard prison.
What?
That person wants you out, Trev. Is that the right answer?
Who's that from?
That is from Sam, London.
Well done, Sam. You are this week's Sonic Enigma winner.
Trevor, you can't change the answer!
I can't. You
That
don't
is
know.
a wrong answer.
It's not a prison. It's a cardboard
You
palace
like
of
it in there.
dreams. He loves it.
He loves it in there. He is sat
Look at his
there.
arms. Put your arms inside.
Get your
Basketball skills.
Use your basketball skills right on the bonks. Good move. Hit him on the head.
This is
Trevor,
sad.
is this the right answer? This is from Mick. He goes, is it justified and ancient by the KLF?
Is he campaigning for
Because
my
of the
release?
ice cream van. He says, Trevor, as far as I'm concerned, you can stay in your box. I hope that when you come out, you've picked up diseases from other prisoners and become a box junkie.
That is the incorrect answer.
Trevor, here is another wrong answer. This is from Darren in Manchester, who capitalised the first two letters of his name. He goes, not sure of the song title, but it's owned by Crazy Horse. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
No.
Trevor, stay in your little box. Then we've got some... is it YMCA by the Village People?
Yes, well done.
No, it's not.
Get in your box.
Stay in your box, Trevor.
You
That person
brutal,
didn't even put
dirty
their
little
name.
men.
Right, we've got some poems here. Remember, we're doing a poetry competition. Got them on the head. That was a good shot, wasn't it?
Oh dear.
This is from Aaron Paul. Aaron Paul's written a limerick. Trevor Locke should never be free. Keep him locked up for eternity. Fetal in his box. He once killed a fox. He's someone no one should see. Lovely limerick about Cocky Locky.
Lies. I've never killed a fox.
Trevor, you've killed a trout, a squirrel, a mouse, and a man. Here is a haiku about Trevor. Trevor Locke, eat, eat. Sweet, sweet fudge, fresh from the box. Just like a home, Trevor. This is free verse. Trevor, oh Trevor, the MySpace... Turn your phone off, Trevor! Trevor, oh Trevor, the MySpace lesbian, hunting round like a caveman, high on Viagra, smoking aspirin. Bessie, Bessie, will you comfort, he says, as his neckerchief seems to strangle all his dignity. Eat some fudge! That's a good one.
That is a good one. I like that one. Yeah, it's very good.
Dear lovely Russell, nice man. I like it. Addy has taken it as his business to screw up every letter and throw it at Trevor.
Don't screw them up because they're competition entries.
Such a good shot.
Don't screw them up. They're competition entries. Mr. G judges the poem.
They
Do you
have to be
remember which one's
filed.
best?
Filed in the
G
correct
needs to
place.
judge them.
File them in a file, and then I can go out and kick a homeless person. Dirty pig.
Yeah, that's how I
This is
sound.
from Sebastian in Manchester.
We should get him a litter tray.
Yeah, so Trevor, just use your litter tray. I'm damned if we're going to let you stink out our studio with your habits. Dear lovely Russell, nice Matt, and that rambling, wobbling, box-dwelling, evil Italian-hating accident known only as Trevor, says Sebastian from Manchester.
Good.
I think it's terrible what Trevor's doing, prancing into your studio, and let me tell you, he did prance, listeners. He pranced
Like a
into here.
show pony.
Demanding that he be put into a box. I think you should keep him in there until he learns the difference between right and wrong. Something he should have learned as a child. And you should also put him in a smaller box. A smaller, tighter box with pins on the inside. Also tell him, eat your fudge! Eat your
Well
fudge, Trevor,
done,
says
Sebastian. Well done. That was very good. You picked up on a few of the themes there. You turned them round and sent them back in. Well done. How original.
Smarmy, arrogant pig.
That is
To
one of our
listeners.
listeners.
Yes, it is
Trevor,
one of our
treat
listeners. Well
with
done.
The respect that they
That's how he
obviously
knows what's
deserve.
going on. He listens to the show.
So we listen to Elvis Presley now. Elvis Presley had singing the song, wobbling his hips, then dying tragically, but he was a wonderful icon. Everyone, we've got Master Sue in here, we've got Addy Adebatan, we've got Matt Morgan, we've got the competition winners. Richie, you enjoying the experience so far?
It's great, Russ, thank you.
But how does it compare to being in a garden when you're supposed to be delivering letters and doing a poop?
It's better than that.
Of course it's better than that. Much better. Trevor Cockalocky! What's the matter?
Morning. Nothing's the
What's
matter.
wrong with your microphone technique?
Well, you spilt water over it, mate.
Well, if you will behave like an animal, expect to be treated like an animal, Trevor. Yes?
Oh, is that a
One of-
promise?
A simple life lesson you discuss.
Get lower in your
I
box.
don't. I slightly excite you.
He's just sitting there like it's a pair of cardboard pants.
You are
Look at him.
wearing those like those people wear barrels in the old days when they've lost their clothes. Do you
Yeah,
remember?
barrels
What
and
was
braces.
that?
I had a
Who were
dream.
them barrel brace people?
Maxing out too much, I've got to step back.
Well, I'm not in charge of things like that.
I'll keep going to you like that. What do you think it was, a dance?
It's inseparable from one in my mind. You waving your hands about like Diana Ross. If I just talked into a microphone, that's my job. Matt Tamkin says he's written a poem. Trevor Locke, hard as a broken rock. Matt Morgan plays the button organ. Russell Brand, I'd like to buy him canned. Eat your fudge, Trev. Matt from Brighton. Gee, you've got to judge these. You should make notes of the ones you think are winners because I'm simply throwing them on the floor. Addy then picks them up, turns them into little basketballs and throws them into the smug face of Trevor Locke. Which isn't easy because, as we all know from popular culture, his face is the size of a Malteser. I'm laying here on the sand, bikini on, thinking of Russell Brand. It's hot out here and so is he. I forgot to mention, so am me. Ha ha, from Joe Fisher, the poet. And she, of course, says, didn't know it. Joe, the bikini imagery was helpful, but as a poet, you have a lot to learn. I have a dab. I listen to the madness of three. One of them's rightly locked up while G writes the poetry. That's Ben from Lincoln. Quite nice. That's a good one. Because he's mentioned G, he thinks that's the winner. Here is another wrong answer for Trevor's Sonic Enigma. Ride, is it Trevor? Ride a white horse, gold frap, free the lock. Oh, Free the Lock by Nick Godkin.
Nick, you've won.
Trevor!
Turn up here next week at 10 o'clock and you can be a guest in the
You
studio.
can come, but you have not won the competition.
But you can come because you've chosen to free me. You can come.
Trevor, you are
You can
staying
come and
there.
free me yourself.
Trevor, the vast majority of emails are ones of support for you.
No,
being
there
in
aren't.
that
There's
box.
been none.
There is a
There's been-
huge volume.
there's been none.
Let's read this one out. This is from Stevie
He's
B.
not reading anything out. He's making it
from
up off the top of his
Tampon
little
Street.
head.
He goes, keep Trevor Locke in his box
Go on,
because
make it
that
up.
is where he belongs. I once met Trevor and he put his hand down in my trousers and felt the gap between my bottom hole and genitals. He then ran away giggling. He deserves to be in a box. That is from Kevin.
always
the name
sex,
I said at
isn't
the
it?
beginning.
Always
Yes,
sex.
Trevor, it is always sex if you live in the real world. Not in your world, Trevor, where it's always being in a box, interfering with yourself. Disgusting
Again,
little
it
rodent
was
you
always
are.
sex
Is
then.
the winner
It
on
is
the?
always sex.
Is the
Always
winner
sex.
on the? Who cares?
Why is it always
Because it's
sex,
the only
Matt?
thing there's any point in.
Don't
Who's on the phone, Mark?
It would have been Nat in France,
But she was so disgusted.
Oh, no, is there someone else who's won the competition?
mobile
Charlotte's
ran out.
waving saying, bring it in, love. We'll get them on the phone.
Those French mobiles, they've got little legs.
Off they go.
They're a law unto
Keep still in
themselves.
your box, Trevor.
I'll wiggle if I want. It's
Trevor.
good sound. It's good radio.
Stop rhythmical.
Listen to me
Stop
wriggle.
writhing in your box.
Oh, yeah.
Charlotte, is this another potential winner?
It's Nat's number.
Oh, it's Nat's number.
Trevor,
There you are, there's
you've
Nat's
made a
number.
mockery of Terry Waite's suffering.
Trevor, is it that you think that what Terry Waite did was funny in some way, yeah? And Brian Keane.
That was a cheap
Is that
publicity
joke
stunt,
to you?
what he did.
Trevor! You
Trying
said
to
the
raise-
unsayable!
There
You
are-
said the unsayable!
There are
You said that
easier ways of trying to raise money for the Canterbury Cathedral Church
my
Roof Fund.
God. We're on the BBC, the Queen's radio station.
Oh, the cathedral
You
roof's
just-
leaking again. What can we do to raise
Trevor!
money? I know what I'll do.
Terry Waite was not trying to raise money for a cathedral roof. He was
I don't know,
negotiating the
bring-
return of hostages.
Was he?
Yes, he was. Then he himself, Iron of Ironies, became one.
Well,
Let's
that's not a
train
very
to
good plan, is
well,
it?
Let's train him to the radiator.
Oh, my God.
See how he likes it.
Turn the
Use-
radiator on.
Turn the radiator on. Full blast, and we will burn you, Locke. Here's another poem from Luke. Trevor, oh Trevor, the little rotter kills rodents for happiness. His anecdotes are simply pure crappiness. He's subject to a challenge for he does mingle with girls on MySpace, linger in his dinkle. Dirty little devil. Trevor Locke, capturing. Okay, we've got Natalie on the phone. I think she might have the right answer. Natalie, hello.
Hi.
Nat, you're in France, are you, dear?
Yes, I live in France, yeah.
You live there in France?
Yeah,
Is
well,
it
I've
nice?
just finished university and I've come back.
You went to university, then you suddenly just upped and went to France. Hold on, let me get this straight. You take the education of our great nation, and then the first chance you get, you F off to France.
Well, I graduated at Manchester and then my parents live in France, so...
Right, okay.
I'm back.
Okay, so you're stealing education. Right, so, Natalie, how's it going out there in France? You having a nice time?
Yeah, it's okay.
It's good,
the
isn't it,
weather's
to be
a
in
bit
France?
rubbish, but
Is
it's
it?
alright.
Where do you live?
In Lille.
Trevor, you're in a box for a reason.
You live in
trying to
Lyon?
Shut up, Natalie.
In Lille.
Natalie, I will ask you to ignore Trevor Locke. He's been punished.
What
Do
about
not
yesterday when
respond to
Trevor
Trevor.
had a go at
Is he
Master
still in
Sue?
his box?
Trevor is in his box, yes he
I didn't
is.
have a
I
go
think
at
you
Master
should stay
Sue.
there.
Did?
Trevor tried to... Do you know, look, Natalie, I'll just tell you this, right? Trevor is one of the most vile racists since Eugene Terreblanche. Trevor said, like, to Master Sue, he goes, oh, where are you from, Master Sue? Master Sue went, Singapore. He goes, have you got a British passport?
No, he goes...
Where's your passport?
He goes, I'm British, I'm from Singapore.
Yeah.
British colony.
And Trevor went,
you're not British, you haven't got a
where's
British
your
passport.
Show me your passport. I'd like to see how British you are. OK, but in Grange Hill, what was on the end of the sausage? What was it, a fork or a knife? If you're so British, you'll know what was on the end of the sausage.
He didn't know though, Russ, did he? And then
No,
I
he
asked him to leave.
You asked him to
And
leave.
has he? No, he's just stunk around, and here he is now in the studio.
Well,
Scratching his brain out. What's that, Natalie?
was better at Tai Chi than any of you because you have to be... Is it because you have to be quite calm?
It's because you have
To be quite camp.
You have to be...
Calm.
Trevor's
Calm.
so camp that
You have to be calm to kill mice, don't you?
Of course
You do.
You
You need a steady
cold
hand.
Eye to kill- Please, Natalie, do not respond to Trevor.
Lightning
He's
reflexes.
in that box for a reason. Keep away. Take his microphone away if you can't behave. Right, Natalie, we believe you've won the Sonic Enigma. Everyone get ready to create atmosphere. What is the correct answer to the Sonic Enigma?
It is New Young Pony Club and the song's Ice Cream.
Woo! Is that the right answer?
By Jove, it is. Well
oh
done,
my
Nat.
God, how exciting! Oh wow!
Yeah.
Praise be to Jesus! It's the right answer.
Do you know what your prize is?
A T-shirt?
No, it's
No,
coming
it's
here.
a challenge.
If you're in France,
It's a different prize.
He
It's,
was meant to design a T-shirt.
where's that T-shirt you meant
it's,
to
it's
design?
been designed.
Design
mate.
your top.
I've designed
Design the top, Trevor.
it. I've designed it.
He's not designed the top.
I have.
Natalie, if you're in France, how are you going to get over to the studio?
Oh, I'll think I can manage it.
You're coming next week for next Sunday.
Yeah?
You
Wow.
better.
From another country.
From
That's-
another
that's a
country, that
first.
will treat you like a goddess if you do that.
Oh, I
Trevor
hope
won't,
so.
of course. Trevor will probably make light of your sufferings. And probably say, oh, Emmeline Painter, stupid cat, she can do the washing up.
Well, it's hardly a big deal, is it, to get here from France?
Oh, God, what's wrong with him?
Trevor?
What is wrong with him? You are an
Well,
iconoclast.
unless you hitchhike here, Nat, I'm not impressed.
Is there nothing?
Can you do
Don't
that? Do you reckon you could do that?
Do not respond to him.
I'll give it a go.
Do not
She's going
respond,
to give it a go.
Natalie.
And if you do it, there'll be a donation made
Ignore
to your
him.
favourite charity.
Ignore that
Right,
idiot.
okay.
Okay.
Natalie, I will ask you, do not respond to Trevor
We've got
Locke.
chemistry. Don't
Don't
stand in the way of this.
Ignore him. Ignore him.
I'll try.
Natalie, will say, don't try. Just right. Let
How
me tell
can
you what
she
Trevor
ignore
looks
what's
like.
staring her in
He
the
looks
face?
like Alan Bennett. Right, Natalie, you're coming next week. We look forward to meeting you. Jolly well done on the competition.
Thank you.
We will see you next week. Okay, what we're going to listen to now
I
then?
suppose we should listen to that song.
Should we listen to it?
Goodbye,
Bye, Natalie.
Natalie.
Take care, darling. See you next
Hitchhike
week.
here, yeah?
Okay, Trevor, be quiet. No more talking. We've had enough of you.
Trevor, you should listen to this song on all fours.
Get on all fours,
This
Trevor.
is the New Young Pony Club.
Who wants
Get
to ride
on
me?
all fours. No one
Nobody.
wants to ride you,
Nobody.
Trevor. That's why you have to scurry around stealing other people's girlfriends like a rat in the night. Now get on all fours. I listen to Russell Brand on 6 Music. Trevor's in a box. You alright in your box, Trev?
Yeah, I'm very well.
We put the lid back on because he was being arrogant.
I've got some information, Russ.
Trevor, we do what? Alright, Trevor, make it brief. What is the information?
That book that we've been talking about, the
Yeah,
poetry book, that's
yes.
available to buy from Wednesday in Edinburgh bookshops.
Right, in Edinburgh bookshops. Me and Trevor will be up in Edinburgh soon. I'll be doing a show. And we're doing some rehearsals for our sitcom up there. Go to russellbrand.tv and have a look. You can come and see us do all sorts of stuff. We'll be doing this radio show from up in Edinburgh. Then we're doing it at Reading Festival. We're rehearsing our new TV show that's going to be on Channel 4. It's called Russell Brand's Got Issues. Have a look at russellbrand.tv. Have a look at that fan site. So what is this sniggering that's going on over here? Is that you, Applin? Sorry. Susie Applin's in here. She's meant to be one of the most respected producers in television, but in actuality is a nerd. Adi Adepitan is here with us. He's that bloke on that basketball thing in a wheelchair doing that thing. He got dreadlocks. You all right, mate?
I'm all right, mate. Not bad.
We're friends, aren't we, Admin?
Yes.
You come down West Ham with me, I'll go down West Ham with you.
Yeah, you have your phone on important moments at West Ham.
There was an embarrassing incident when, after Ron Greenwood died, there was
Silence.
There was a minute's silence, as there often is. Trevor Brooking came out and led what could only be described as an impeccably observed minute's silence. Right, me and Addy at the front of North Bank, formerly the North Bank Terrace. Don't know what it's called these days.
Bobby Moore, isn't it?
Probably.
Yeah.
And then we were stood at the front there, and I was just thinking, how beautiful. Oh, for fuck.
On cue.
All right.
On cue.
Trevor, turn your phone off. But it was worse, right? Because it was like it was like right in this minute silence, and I was thinking, God, isn't it beautiful? Like 34,000 people, all completely silent, all joined by common respect for Ron Greenwood, who's recently died, right? And as I was thinking that, I'd just got a new phone, so I still had the generic ring on it, and it went. right out around the whole stadium. I was right at the front. I was wearing ridiculously tight jeans. I tried to get the phone out of my back pocket, and it was all just like, so it looked like I was interfering myself.
Why didn't you just leave it? And
Just ignore it.
No one would know.
Because then it did 2 whole rounds of.
No, because we were all pointing at Russell, actually.
Yeah, they were pointing, making it, mate. Him and his mate just
got no
laughing their
respect.
heads off. Oh, it was awful. It was so embarrassing, the whole event. So, hold on, a few more poems here. This one's from Taper Jean Girl. Mousy, mousy, in your hair, pooing and weeing everywhere. But then one day he ran away to twirl and dance and do ballet. And now his claws are not there to tame your hair's become a crazy mane. Lots of love from Annie in Leeds. Thank you, Annie. And this one's from Hannah Matthews. Russell, Russell, Russell with your ball bag, so delightful. Trevor, Trevor, Trevor with your fudgery and tutu. Matt, Matt, Matt with your t-shirts and your dancing. We like the radio show because it's filled with these mad things. Nice one, Hannah. Lovely poem.
Didn't rhyme.
Hi, Russ. Here's my poem. Sometimes poems don't rhyme, like the ones written by John the Baptist. Here's my poem. Leave Trevor alone. Now he has no home. He be sad. You be glad. Justice been done. Homeless of one. Trev's paid for his crime. Done his time. Let him out o' the box, you swine. I love Trevor Locklin in Liverpool. Trevor, there's some support there, darling. You all right in the box? Oh, he's gone quite good.
I like it when it goes quiet.
It's lovely, isn't
scary.
it? It's much better. I think Mark always looks in as if he might have genuinely died. Mark,
If he's gone all stiff like
I
a
would
hamster.
bury him in that box. If he was, let's dig him up and see what he's like. I'd just like to see maggots crawling out of Trevor Locke's skull. It would cheer me up no end. So anyway, Addy, it's good to have you on the show. Now tell us about this thing that happened the other night. Even though it is a little bit depressing, I'll try and keep the mood upbeat.
Yes, the other night I knew it was all going to go wrong from the start because
Well, what were we doing?
I turned up to a party a week early.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, I
you know.
like enthusiasm.
Yeah, but you know, I was confused about the date, and I got there early, and I phoned up. There was no one who was supposed to be at the party there,
Right.
and my friend said to me, "You're here a week early. The party's actually next week Friday." So I thought, all right, I'll continue the party.
Don't
on
be
my
a
own.
week early
No,
for a party.
no, it's no good.
ridiculous.
It's no good.
Just arrive,
you're
ride
seen
on time,
you're
like
just
Black
seen
Box used to say.
You're seen as a lonely fool. Of
course you are.
But no, I arrived at this party and I thought, well, I'll continue if there's no one going to be there. So I phoned up a friend of mine and said, let's go into town.
Yeah.
So we took a stroll into town and we went to a certain club. Am I allowed to mention?
Yes, you are. I think it's called
yeah.
Modiva. You and your mate are in wheelchairs.
Yeah, we're both in wheelchairs.
What's
and
the name of it?
Modiva. Modiva is the club. It's on Argyle Street in London, near the Palladium. Modiva.
That
yeah?
club, yeah, that one, Modiva. But anyway, we arrived there and...
What, Modiva? The club in Modiva?
Modiva.
What happened then? What happened next at Modiva, Addy?
Well, I've been to this club a few times.
Yeah,
and,
I've been there before. A bit stuck up.
Yeah, it was slightly stuck up, but generally the staff were pretty nice to me.
Right.
There's a few stairs, a few stair issues, but
people are helpful.
Yeah, but the people were helpful, and I've had no problems. But this time, I turned up and I received a frosty reception.
Frosty?
It was frosty.
The last thing you need is a
Yes.
frosty reception.
And
Unless
they
it's from
weren't
Tony
great.
the Tiger. Oh, there you go. They're not great. So, it were prejudiced.
It was. Immediately, I saw this look upon the guys' faces, and I knew.
What's this, the bouncer?
Yeah, the
What
bouncer.
did he look like?
Well, he was.
Hold on, let me take a guess. White, skinhead.
Well, sort of, yeah. He was kind of like Right Said Fred, sort of.
Right, okay.
Bald-headed geezer looking.
Right,
But
fair
anyway, he gave me a little bit of a dodgy look, and I
Yeah.
said to him, "Yeah, can I come in? This is the entrance we usually use. It's
Yeah.
a normal way of getting into this club." And he said, looked at us, thought about it, and it was quite quick for someone who I'd consider a Luddite. But anyway, he said,
He was probably scared by the chair.
Yeah.
Those wheels!
"Oh my God, they move!" And he said, "No, this is membership only tonight." And I was like, "What?"
Curious.
And it's not normally membership only. And I said, "But have you changed your policies and stuff?" He said, "No." And I was a little bit cross,
Right.
and said to him, "Well, I don't believe you," and disagreed with him, and decided to push off. And then he said, "Yeah, that's right. Clear off, you effing cripples."
Clear off, you effing cripples, said the doorman at the Modiva.
Yes.
Modiva was it?
Modiva, said, the doorman said they employ people there that say F off, you effing cripples at
Yeah.
Modiva,
Yeah.
London,
Yeah.
Modiva. Wonder what their email address is. I wonder what happens if you Google Modiva and send them an email because they say F off, you effing cripples.
Exactly.
Two national heroes, Adia Depatar, an MBE, member of the basketball team, got us in the blooming Olympic Games, went over to Singapore, pinch my skin! Okay, so they said, F off, you effing cripples. Then what happened?
Well, you know, I'm usually a man of calm nature.
You
know?
are. You're relaxed.
Yeah, I'm relaxed. It doesn't. It takes.
Except when you're womanising, then you're a bit overbearing.
Says Russell Brand.
Come on! Don't believe everything you read in the papers
Yes.
or police documents.
I learned everything from you, my friend. But anyway, yeah, I was a little bit miffed. And
You should be miffed. That's a terrible thing to say.
I took a dim view and turned around and I went out to him and said, you can't say that. I said to him, this is just ridiculous. Could you tell me what you said again? And he looked at me and said, you effing cripple. Right?
In this day and age, 2006, the doorman of Modiva, London Argos Street, Google Modiva, send emails to Modiva, said what? F off, you effing cripple.
So I got slightly angry, pushed forward towards him. Suddenly these other bouncer friends held me back. I laughed because I thought this is silly, you know. Yeah. But then he said to me, you'd have a chance if you had effing legs.
Oh dear! If you had effing legs at Modiva, the doorman of Modiva.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Disgusting.
Unbelievable.
Illegal, I think, probably.
So
probably illegal to say that.
Ruined my whole night.
What ruined your night?
Was totally enraged.
Did he actually front up?
Yeah, he front up and he was looking me in the eye, and you could see the pleasure at the comment. He could see that he was so happy that I was angry, and the angrier I got, the happier he got, and he absolutely loved it.
That's like his sexual perversion. Yeah. But you are quite hard because you're like basketball and you're quite healthy. It must be a disadvantage that you're sat down, but your punch must still be quite hard.
Well, I think if it came down to it, I would have won.
I think you could take him, Addy.
No, I felt that, but I just thought, I mean, what was going through this guy's brain?
I remember you said, well, probably sort of mush, primeval ooze, I would imagine, or probably drugs. I don't know. Perhaps it's okay to take drugs if you're a doorman at Modiva, because their employment policy at Modiva seems a bit odd. Argyle Street, London, Modiva, seems a bit odd. Google it. I think people should send emails to Modiva.
So you'd recognise this bloke?
Yeah, of course I'd recognise him.
I think we'd all recognise him as the kind of grunting Neanderthal that we're all familiar with, dragging this country back into the Stone Age with their prejudice, ignorance and hatred. Mate, you said you've not heard anything said that to you like since you've been sort of at school, and that was like in I don't know how old you are, but I presume it was in the 80s.
It was in the 80s. It was in the 80s. And
when racism was then good, clean fun, another kind of prejudices was acceptable. Standard. We were into it then, back then. It's all right. We all liked it. But now it's out of date, man. You gotta move on. You gotta move on,
Come
dog.
on, man.
Have some new prejudices against asylum seekers or something. Have an acceptable prejudice.
Yeah, it's the 21st century.
21st century prejudices. Okay, so well, we'll be very interested in your views, but mostly if you're going to send an email, send it to Modiva. Okay, and yeah, let them know what you think of that sort of behaviour. Should we listen to a little bit of music? What are we going to have, Matty Morg?
I think we're going to have the 80s Matchbox Beeline Disaster.
That is going to be great. Is it nice when Trevor actually shuts up?
It's lovely, isn't it?
Quiet. Oh, it's dormant in here. It's lovely.
We should put the doorman in the box as well.
We should put that doorman in a wooden box, man. Someone should carve him up. No incitement to violence on the radio. Hello. I would consider it an act of loyalty if anyone who's a friend of this show was to throw acid onto his face or car. No, that's joking. Hey, I'm only joking. Only joking.
Not that sort of acid, anyway.
No, only joking like that doorman was joking at Modiva. Okay, then, so let's listen to this track. Throw an egg at him. With some acid in it. Oh, listen, I make no apologies for not liking people who prejudicially say F off, you effing cripple, you'd be out front up to me if you had effing legs. I think, do you know what I mean? Blimey, you're out on your own then, mate. You're out on your own in the world.
You've ostracised
yourself from the rules of society.
He should lose his legs, that man.
Matt Morgan.
I like your style, Matt.
Instant karma's going to get you.
Well, come on,
let's have a listen to some music now and then contemplate the legal issues that we've just raised in the last thing.
Six Music.
Right, so listen to Russell Brand. Trevor, stop moving your mic. What's wrong with you?
In a box.
Nice to be in a box. Exciting. It says, look at this though. Someone says, before I start, Trevor, stop messing with your microphone. Leave it alone, Trevor. Before I start, I feel Locke should be freed. I wouldn't want him to become a martyr. Keep up the good work. And here is a poem. It's a really good poem, but it's quite long, actually, so we might read it in a little bit. But yeah, perhaps we've made a martyr of Cocky Locky, have we? I don't think so. I don't think
think
anyone's
so.
going to sympathise with
Not
him.
when it's been described as having a musky scent now, his box.
Yeah, people are saying that box stinks.
Well, if you smell cardboard is a bit musty.
Stink
No,
in there,
it's the
mate.
Sniff
smell of
mate.
your
I
back.
smell like a daisy.
Your
Also,
scalp.
a lot of people are saying that Trevor was the doorman at Modiva and made those unacceptable, prejudiced, hateful remarks to Adia Depatal. A lot of people are saying that was Trevor. Certainly, it was one of Trevor's mouthpieces that work for him, spreading his vile crimes. Here is an email, I think it's to Charlotte. Your surname's Guzzin, isn't it, Charlotte? Oh, sorry about that for revealing that. Watch 'em, my dear, because this person, we just don't know this person's name, that means. Watch 'em, my dear boys. My mother's a wheelchair user and enjoys going to gigs. She has been known to dismantle her wheelchair and hit people with the removable arms when they express discriminatory behaviour towards her. I would not condone her behaviour, but they never do it again. That person's got more legal sense than us. I admit it bothers to do a disclaimer in their email. I would not condone that. Matt, that person should lose their legs. That's it. Amazing.
No, I'm saying
professional broadcasters.
That was a philosophical
on the
comment.
BBC.
You said throw acid.
You said throw acid. He's lovely when he gets angry with me. He jabs his little finger out at me. His little face goes all
I
red.
don't get angry anymore. I use your energy against you.
You're using my energy. Since we've had Master Sue, we know how to use our anger properly, don't we? Look at Trevor. Even Trevor can turn being imprisoned into a box into a sexual experience.
He's sitting there like Tony Montana. It's annoying me.
Yeah. See that pelican fly? See that pelican fly? He loves it in the jacuzzi, bless him.
Come in. Who wants to join me in the box?
Who wants to join? Oh, come
Has
on,
anyone
let's
got to get
celebrate
in?
the box. Kieran,
No one
Kieran
wants
here,
to
friend
get
of the
in.
show. Get in the box with
Come
Trev.
on, Kieran.
Might as well. Oh, let's see how people. Why don't you
Take
know,
your
why don't you get in the
shoes
box?
off first.
Trevor, you can't have house rules for your box.
You shouldn't be allowed visitors.
It's like the door policy at Modiva, trying to get in that box. Stay away from it, Kieran, you've got long hair.
You can fit in. Do you want to come down?
Helena, you can get in the box as well. Oh, there's all sorts of people in that box. Typical of it.
Trevor.
Trevor, that is meant to be a punishment, that box.
You
This
should
is
not be
unbelievable.
accepting guests.
Okay. Right, once everyone's snug in their box, Matt Morgan will do his world-famous cultural review where he reviews a little bit of culture. Did you make a jingle, Matt, for your cultural review? That is the sound of people getting into a box.
you
don't
make
worry.
one?
I can't remember. No, we didn't make one. Okay.
Don't need one.
Hold on, let's make a jingle for it now. I'm Matt Morgan reviewing culture. It seems a bit odd when I've had no education, don't understand the situation, and culture to me is anathema. Go on, then that'll do.
No education.
Well, you've had a bit of one. It weren't very good, though. You weren't concentrating.
I was.
Well, go on then. Tell us a fact then about art or something. An interesting fact about Henry Moore, or I don't know, or about that bloke who Rennie Deschamps, Marcel
God.
Deschamps.
No.
Good, I've done nothing about art
Rennie
then.
Deschamps?
Marcel Deschamps. I don't know what they're all called.
What? Russell thinks that Rennies, the indigestion tablets, are called Renes. Like they're from Hello Hello.
Get me some Renes.
Get me a Rene.
I have une condition gastrique. Matt, do your cultural. That's quite funny. Do your cultural review, mate.
Okay.
Right, what did you do?
It's never set up properly. You just yell at me to do it, and then you
Well, what
tear
do
it
you
to
want?
pieces.
All right, I'll be generous. Matt, you and I have been friends a long time. I respect you both professionally as an artist and as a fellow broadcaster, and most of all as a friend.
Nah, this is making me feel sick.
Yeah, well, can't do your culture. You can't have it both ways, you little tit.
I went. I went to the BBC proms.
You went to the
at
proms.
The
What was that
Royal
like? What,
Albert
last
Hall.
night of the proms, all them flags?
Well, the last night is the last night of it. Look at Trevor.
What's the difference? Look at him
This
smug
is
in
my
his
culture
box.
review.
Shut up!
He's got pals.
There's a photo of that of him in his box with people. He's pimped his box, isn't he, G? We should get Tim Westwood on the phone. I love that man.
I love him too.
It's brilliant, isn't he? Go on, then. All right, so
Yeah,
you went
so-
to the last night of the proms.
At the Royal Albert Hall, which I've never been to. It's amazing in there.
I've been there. I've performed there with
I know
Ricky
you did.
Gervais. I've done some stand-up in there.
We're on the.
Not
which-
the stage.
Like in the stage or on the centre bit.
Stage. It was a stage at one end, right? And it's
Oh,
like
right.
being inside a great big coliseum
It's
or
amazing,
a
isn't it?
cake. Yeah, amazing.
It's really good actually. It's like but I've noticed a few things because after I went to the opera,
Yeah.
right, and it's a similar crowd, it
Yeah.
smells of imperial leather.
Imperial
Soap.
Leather, the soap. Other soaps are
Because
available.
it's old people who've gone out for the night
Yeah.
and made an effort, and they
So they've scrubbed themselves with Imperial Leather.
scrub themselves. And
Where else have you noticed this? Imperial Leather used to have a really sexy advert when we were kids. Do you remember? Imperial Leather, her only comfort in life. And then that woman wash her knockers.
Cam8 one where she had to use 2 different soaps.
Trevor, you pervert! Get to bed!
You're too far from the mic
Stay in your box. Actually, guess
to
what?
be relevant.
Yeah, you're irrelevant that far from the mic. Do you know what? One time, right, when I was a kid, the lady over the road, Josie, her plumbing failed, right? So obviously a plumber didn't descend through the roof like in Trevor's loopy world. So she had to come over to our house to have a bath. And I was only about 6 years old, but I heard my mum on the phone going, yeah, of course you come over and use our bath, right? I thought, oh, Josie, I really liked her. She had big knockers, right? So like, I was only about 6, but I took all my Star Wars figures and that into the bathroom before knowing she was come over. I set up camp, started playing. Oh, I'm playing Star Wars in the bathroom. My mum comes over with Josie and goes, Russell, you have to get out of there. Josie's having her bath now, so you'll have to. Trevor, leave the microphone alone, Trevor.
Really
I'm in the middle of an anecdote. Move your head close to the mic, for God's sake. Mum goes, Russell, we'll have to get out of the bathroom now because Josie's come over to have a bath. And Josie goes, oh, it's all right. He don't mind. He's only 6. Leave him in here. You fools! I thought, I know exactly what I'm doing, right? She was in there in the bath, all with her big knockers, washing herself and that. It's brilliant. She was the woman from over the road, and I properly fancied her. Later in life, I wrote pornographic stories myself about Josie, right? And amended her holiday
Does she know
photos.
that she's going to be listening to
This will be the first time she learns of it, I think. And I amended her holiday photos of her in a bikini once, which was sort of tangerine in colour, almost the same colour as her skin. Drew nipples on it so I could use it as a pornographic device. That's my life! Write me own porn.
There
so
I
anyway,
am at the proms.
There was Matt at the proms in Albert Hall.
It's weird. I had similar things happen to me when I was young.
It's good, isn't it, to be young and
looking
do
up
that?
girls' skirts when you're at primary school. It's just so
Oh,
amazing.
no, I mean, that's wrong. Jesus.
When I was at primary
Terribly
school.
wrong.
I was at primary school too.
Yeah, well, we
I was
were
a
primary
caretaker.
school children. Matthew, that's
Oh, no, sorry.
double
Okay.
wrong. Can you imagine the jokes that went through my
Yes,
head?
come on.
Let's leave it.
Right,
Come on, move
okay. Things I observed, apart from the Imperial Leather thing, they have like a mosh pit bit.
on. A mosh pit at the proms?
Yeah, where they don't mosh, but it
Do
looks
they
like
stage dive? Do they zimmer off the edge of the
it.
stage?
It looks like that. They're all sort of like crowded up to the barrier.
What are they doing all crunched up, stinking of soap?
We're all sitting in the chairs, but down the bottom they all stand, and it's like a sort of slow motion, normal.
What, they
concert.
sway?
No.
Ah, good. Keep
What
still.
about when they opened the piano lid? Did you get that bit?
What?
Piano lid? Why is that a prominent bit of the proms? Why would you care about someone opening a piano
people
lid?
down there, they're the hardcore people. They're the
The
promenaders.
hardcore? Well, like the Hells Angels at
They're
Altamont.
promenaders.
They're going to stab someone.
Oh, for crying out loud. Do you know what promenade means? In French it means to walk, to stand.
Oh, for crying out loud, don't you even speak French with your rudimentary comprehensive
So
education
they're
in
they're
Essex.
standing there in the standing area, and then at a certain point the piano comes out, sometimes if it's a piano piece, and they lift
What,
up
on
the
its
lid,
own?
Yeah.
and then they all go, heave!
You're joking!
And then the lift goes up, and then they go, ho!
Hate it!
Yeah, that might have
Hate the
happened,
sound
actually.
of that.
There was a
Did
bit
that
where
happen?
everyone shouted something.
Yeah. Trevor, you do that. Heave! Oh! We're all at the proms, it means promenade in France. I wish you were in France, Trevor, in your box. Yeah.
There was this.
They did
What
that,
happens
didn't
is there's so many weird things that
Rituals
happen.
and customs.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible.
Sometimes the music stops and everyone claps, right?
Yeah.
But I never knew when that was meant to happen. Or the other thing that happens is they cough.
Who coughs?
Like the music stops and then everyone sort of who's been holding in a cough.
Does their cough
And they're
then?
old people, so they're like proper hacking up phlegm. Go, The whole of the Royal Albert Hall just suddenly there's a moment of
Coughing.
silence, and then it goes like that. It's ridiculous.
That's disgusting. I'll just tell you this quick, I'm quickly reminded of, right? I used to go to the State Cinema in Grays, oldest cinema in Europe, right? And there's an organ, like, that used to come up through the floor before the film. A man would play an organ. It was all brightly coloured and luminous, a bit like a Whirl, It's a Jukebox, right? And I was there once, I think it was to watch Indiana Jones, one of them films. The organ bloke came up through the floor, and it's quite a big cinema with raked seating, probably maybe 1,000 people in there. The bloke came up through the floor, and he's, like, had long hair and a long beard, right? And, like, as he came up, he was playing that piano thing, all dead, got excited, playing the organ, looking round, all pleased with himself, long beard, long hair, and someone a couple of rows in front went, "You look like Jesus!" Sort of angry that he looked like Jesus. It really made me laugh. So he didn't really offer
Did
an
the man
opinion.
react?
He just kind of sort of smiled and winked as if that was part of it. Some people went, but I thought that's a funny thing to say, isn't it? You look like Jesus. Aggressively. You look like Jesus! Aggressively, though. Without a judgment. Weird. Go on then, mate. So back at these
Yeah.
proms, all these rituals and
Oh, actually,
customs.
when I was outside, because I got there a little bit late, and I went to this person, I was queuing up to talk to the lady who worked there and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, where's the press passes? Where will I go?" And this sort of fat bloke pushed in front of me.
Oh,
Sort
don't
of
have to
fat
mention
bloke.
it, just wait.
Because it's
No, I
funny
don't.
later in the story.
yeah, well, it's
relevant
not,
detail.
but it's good to know that he was a bit fat.
Corpulent,
He
porky,
pushed in front
tubby
anyway. He
chap.
pushed in front of me, and he went, "Excuse me, I've got 2 tickets, but my friend's got flu." Like that. He goes, "What do I do?" And she went, "Well, you can go in on your own, or you can try and give them to other people." He goes, "Well,
That is not an administrative error that the Royal Albert Hall should
No.
be. That's a personal
Like that.
problem.
And I
That's like going, when I was a boy, I was bullied. Well, all right, enjoy the show.
Yeah, so it was pointless that he asked that, and he was pushing in, and then he had other questions. Well, where would I, if I went in on my own, could I, and it's just,
It just doesn't matter. Why does this person not know
so
the
I
answer?
pushed in and said, "Excuse me, I'm in a rush."
You pushed in past
I
old
pushed
fatty,
back
did
in.
you?
Yeah, and then I said, I need the press ticket. She said, "Go down there." So I stormed off.
Stormed?
I didn't realise he was following me.
Why would he be following? How can he keep up with you if he's so fat?
Well, I wasn't running.
And he's got flu.
His friend's got flu.
Yeah, but he probably caught it. He's in that person's immediate area.
Anyway, it was really embarrassing.
Incubation
'cause
stage.
I went,
Incubation stage.
"Friend's got flu. What do you want? A flipping cuddle? You fat idiot!" Like
You
that.
didn't say flipping and you didn't say idiot. So Matt goes, "What?"
say that.
Hold on, Matt stormed
said-
off and said to himself, "Say it again and imagine what he really meant by flipping and idiot." Go on.
I said, "My friend's got flu. What do you want? A flipping cuddle? You flipping idiot!"
Why did you say that to
Because I was angry and I was sort of like talking to the girl I was with, my ex-girlfriend who I went with.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And that bloke was there and he heard.
it was behind me and he goes, "Oh, I've got 2 tickets if you want spares," like that. And I just said that. And
You
so
insulted him and he offered
I
you
know,
that.
but he didn't. I don't think he heard it. It was just
Sounds like he
embarrassingly
did.
close. And I turned around and went, "No, it's all right, thank you," like that.
Why was he offering you these 2 tickets just because you went, "You
I
flipping
don't know,
idiot"?
It was embarrassing. And then he was behind us all the way along.
Was he?
Yeah, he was
like
sort
a
of,
holiday enemy on a holiday plane that you keep seeing
but
again
I
and
liked
again.
him after that. I felt sorry for him.
He lives
But
on
But
that.
anyway,
they live together. Matt sits
also-
washing his belly in imperial leather.
when I was in there, I kept, because it goes quiet, and I started to get the giggles. You know that church thing?
Yeah,
where you're not
church
meant to
giggles.
laugh. Because also this old man did an involuntary burp. It was like everything went quiet, everyone clapped, and then he went,
Like he couldn't help it.
yeah. And he
Sounds
looked.
like a tragedy. It's like a horrible waiting room for death.
I know, no, it's not. They weren't all old. Anyway, when the burp came out, he sort of looked at it.
He looked at the burp?
Invisibly,
He looked
watched
at the
it sort of
vapour.
come out as if it was like a dog that had ran through his house. Just went, I watched it go
Oh, there
off.
goes that burp again with a toilet roll in its gob, a string of sausages.
And then I couldn't stop laughing about that. And every time it went quiet, I'd look at him and he was still looking puzzled.
Them proms must be ridiculous because every time the classical music stops, you hear cough, cough, burp, just giggle, cough, burp,
The
laugh.
thud of a corpse. everything, yeah.
Ridiculous. And then people go heave ho. Oh, well, no,
But it's
that's just
good,
Trevor on
and
his
I
own.
would recommend everyone to go.
Really, you recommend people go to? It sounds weird.
It's
It's a
good.
good experience for us.
Music's
I'd get
good.
bored.
You wouldn't.
Wouldn't I?
He would get bored.
Would I? Bored?
If you start giggling,
How long does it go on for?
2 hours.
You're joking, mate. 2 hours of
Look at him,
coughing.
how uncultured.
Look
You're
at him.
joking, mate. 2 hours.
You stick that up your Kuiper, mate, right? Because if you think I'm getting mugged off down at Albert Hall, old son... Oh, that's really easy to swear, isn't it? Okay, so, right. That's the cultural review. It's happened. Lovely. Woo, yeah, Matt. I like how your cultural review always ends with, so, I'd really recommend it. After you've just essentially list why things are absolute rubbish.
I also like the way I applauded it.
Yeah, good to
But all
applaud
he's
your own
talked
cultural
about
review.
are the bits in between the actual event. He hasn't mentioned anything about what he saw.
He's
what
not
it
even
sounded
listening.
like, whether it was
Remember
good.
what
Boring,
music it was?
probably.
It was classical.
No, classically it's alright.
It never
It's
got
good, who cares?
bombastic enough. It was all a bit.
What do you want? Wagner? Do you want to stand on a roof nude, listen to Charge of the Valkyries?
Yeah.
Stand
Exactly.
outside Modiva shouting hateful
I wanted
slogans?
that song with the cannons.
Yeah, 1812.
That's to advertise cheese, ain't it? Right, so what's the what we've got to do then, Mark?
We've got another tune.
Oh, we're gonna have a tune.
We've got Mr. G to wrap up as well.
Regina Spectre, Your Honour.
That sounds
That sounds like a plea offered by Trevor Locke. Regina Spectre, I was just inspecting it, Your Honour. Kind of thing Trevor says in court.
Means
Come
queen
on,
in Latin.
let's listen to some music.
Please, can we have the Strokes?
Trevor, I hope you have a stroke. I'd like to see you spazzing out in that
What
box.
a cruel thing
You
to
can't say that.
Can't I?
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it back. Sorry, I didn't mean to offend him. I'm
Right,
smacking
Regina
about. You know I'm a good
Spectre.
person.
No, I've heard. Let's have the Strokes.
Well, it's in the list. You've got to do. All right, let's do the Strokes then. Yeah, because we
don't
ain't
know
got
how to
long.
get it now.
Let's do the Strokes. Matt, try and work that computer. It's part of your job.
No,
Come
you'll
on.
have to. We're finished with the Strokes. You can have Regina.
Regina, so
Have
we don't
it.
want that. Love me or leave me.
Bam.
No, that'd be bad mood. Strokes. Come on, put Strokes on. It'd be a
Regina,
laugh.
bam.
This is such professional radio.
It don't matter. People like stuff like this. It's a little bit. Let's talk to Master Sue. So, Master Sue, how can people listen to this show use Tai Chi methods to make their lives better? What about that? Keeping that glowing ball in the centre of your gut. I liked that.
Yes, that's a very good one.
That's called the dantian.
Yeah, keep concentrating on your dantian and you'll be able to see and do everything without actually doing it.
What, you'll be able to move outside of time just by concentrating on your inner voice?
Into a different space of time.
Perfect.
But where is the dantian? 4 fingers below the belly
Four fingers below the belly
button.
button.
3 fingers within.
When Trevor goes 4 fingers below his belly button, it normally means he's having a lovely evening. Okay, so we have the strokes on, then then Mr. G is gonna judge the poetry competition, do his poem, then another show will be over. I'm off up to Bury to go to the junkie place I used to go to give a speech. Bury St Edmunds, go to Focus 12, I've got to give a speech to all the junkies and that.
What, a comedy speech or a serious one?
Well, it'd be quite funny, wouldn't it? They'll all be twitching and clucking. You poor sods here! Go and have a boot. Cop hold of that. Drugs are bad. Mr. G's here, you're going to judge the poetry winners, and they're all going to get that book. What's that book called, Trev?
That Which Is Not Said.
And
it's
what
in
is it?
aid of that charity that helps the homeless
Shelter,
people. It's
is it?
called, no, Crisis, this
Crisis.
one.
Oh, yeah. All those charities are dead good. This one's for Crisis. Other charities are available. So, right, there's loads of comedians in there doing different poems and that.
It's really good.
Trevor's been liberated from his box now. We didn't want to make a martyr out of him.
Why don't you go to this www.lookatu.info and then you can get that book, you can buy it.
By yourself. Okay,
Yeah.
or you
You're
can
in
get it
it.
up in Edinburgh. I'm in that book, Trev's in that book, loads of really great comedians in there. From reading it, that bloke, that was Tim Key. They were well funny, this one.
Tim Key is a remarkable poet, isn't he?
Really funny.
Very funny.
Hold on a second. Oh yeah, Simon, who they changed my poem one word because obviously there were incendiary references in there, and they changed one of the words and didn't tell me about it. They changed the word to Columbine from another sort of a British reference, and I think maybe perhaps it was a sensible thing to do. But I just, you know me, I'm obsessed with things, so I went, well, how there's been a change made?
That's why you ripped the book up
That's why I ripped it up, yeah.
And burnt it.
Exactly,
yeah.
I burnt it, yes. It's the only way people will learn. Right, so no, I didn't get that book, it'll be right good.
Lookatu.info.
Lookatu.info. Trevor, you rambling
All right, you
loony.
two pluggers.
All right.
for good
Hold on,
cause.
Addy's got to plug something quickly. Plug something, Addy.
Plug my show. It's called,
Plug my show. They can't tell everyone to plug it. You plug it
It's
yourself.
called Desperados. It'll be out next year. in
Desperados
January.
out next year in January, starring Addy.
Yes. It's about a junior wheelchair basketball team. That geezer from Modiva probably won't watch it because there'll be a load of effing cripples in
He
it.
won't watch them effing cripples. He's against those sort of shows. Okay, G, so what order are you going to tell us the winners or the poem first?
Do poem then the winners.
Poem, then winners. This is
Cool.
Mr. G's poem. Let's be ready to create different kinds of atmosphere.
I've spent many a different night in many different place, looked into different mirrors and traced the lines of a stranger's face. It's a quest for any artist to reflect on where their start is, searching to find that state of mind, for home is where the heart is. Home. It's where we grew up as a child. For Trevor, it was a plumber's death trap where animals got defiled. And like a scene from Green Mile, before he was set free into the wild, Russell's hair was the lair of Elvis the Mouse, who wore rhinestones with style. But now Cocky Locky's in a box, while Matt sits back and watches, and I think that he and Russell envy Trevor's Tai Chi, which Master Sue believes is top of tops. That's why the girls now flocks to present the key to Cocky's lock. They set him free to read his poetry. And if you ask me, it's a load of blatant plagiarism, which is better than blatant prejudice. Okay. The winners who are going to put me out of a job, definitely. We have got Daniel Botel, we've got Taper Jean Girl, and we've got James Wilson, who wrote fantastic poems, and we'll put them up on the website. Thank you.
Well done, thank you very much. You lot all win a copy of that fantastic book. Thank you everyone that came to the show. Well done, competition winners. Matt Morgan, great cultural review. Well done you, Cocky Trevor Locker, you better out of your box.
Thank you, I am very glad to be out of
Glad
that
you're
box.
out of your box. Have a look at russellbrand.tv to learn about what gigs we're doing and where we're going to be touring the country, because you could turn up on our radio show. You could be a star of the show. You could come on the show with us. It'll be brilliant. Want to try? Okay, well, it was time for us to go. Next up is Regina Spector. You're on a... We love you. Boo!